welcome to session 38. So previously, you had found your way to the Tower of Menace, and after many trials, you managed to make your way down to Menace himself. And after a long and hard fight, you were finally able to dispatch him. And as we began, you've just defeated him. Many of you are still badly hurt. You've defeated.
Some of us are dead.
Yeah, and some of you are dead.
Sure, yeah.
True enough. Cyclonin absorbed the power of the hammer, and so everybody gained 2 experience points. So theoretically, everybody has enough experience points to level up. But obviously, you'll need to spend the experience points when you take a long rest to do so. And if you're dead, you can't do that, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and take you to the map. We'll go ahead and unpause you guys. So most of you find yourselves in the room where the hammer was. The hammer, you still see the hammer on the table, but obviously in reality it's gone. And Gizzard, for some reason, is hanging out in the hallway.
Okay.
I'm here.
So in the room, you see the mess of the eggs that was destroyed by Natalie's fireball early on in the fight.
Yep.
I do mean Darcy, yes. You see the relatively ornate table where the hammer was, and a closed metal door. So what do you do?
Well, I suppose it is not too late to get into more trouble here.
True.
Well, we do have a mysterious door there. If we're all feeling reasonable.
I'll try and open it.
Okay, it opens.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat here a bit.
Alright, so you open the door, and inside you see what, to your eye, looks somewhat like a research lab. You see 3 tables, 2 etched with magic circles with scrolls sitting on top, and a third with a more ornate table with gold trim. On top of that one are a number of raw crystals. So go ahead and pause. So what do you do?
I'm gonna go ahead and, checking the door very carefully, tentatively step in.
Alright, go ahead and give me a perception check then if you're checking the door. Door looks fine. It's just like a regular door.
Alright. I'd like to start looking at all this stuff. Judge is going to walk over.
So you can start with the top table, you can start with the bottom table, or you can start with the table with the crystals.
He's going to start with the table with the crystals.
Alright, so you see a number of raw crystals on the table, and most of them like those you've seen in other places. If you want to kind of look through the crystals and see if any of them are special, you can give me either, you can do a perception or investigation.
All right.
Inspiration.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gizzard, would you care to help me investigate these?
You have advantage.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What's inspiration? 1d8?
Sorry, say that again?
What's inspiration? 1d8?
Yeah, it's already been rolled. Darcy already rolled it, so that's that 7.
Oh, okay. Alright. Guidance will help. Hopefully we can do this without screwing it up.
Alright, so yeah, you search through the crystals. You do find a number that look more interesting. They look similar to the glowing crystals you found before. If you click on the icon there, you can pick them up if you wish. While Judge was searching, Gizzard and Darcy were helping. So, Cyclonen, what were you doing?
I was just watching them from here.
Fair enough. So after searching through the crystals, that takes you a few minutes. So what do you do next?
I think I'll go to this bottom table and start
Sure.
doing an investigation on it.
So you look at the
check
bottom table,
scrolls.
and you see that there's a magic circle there that matches the one you found near the bells in the cave. It looks like a smaller version of that circle. You also find the table is littered with scrolls.
Alright, first I'd like to do an Arcana check to make sure none of these scrolls are trapped or there aren't magical traps.
Okay,
Here.
you look for magical traps. Go for it.
Okay. Arcana, a little help, my friend.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
The +7 stays for about like 10 minutes or whatever.
That works.
So with the 32,
nice.
you're absolutely certain there's no traps.
Alright, 39. I wonder if that carries over into investigating the scrolls themselves and the circle, or do you want me to do that again?
Alright, so so you recognize the spell as being the same as enchanted the bell, except this one is complete. It doesn't it wasn't damaged, and you also see a number of scrolls.
Okay. Can I check these scrolls out?
All right, so
I don't need to cast them, just see what they say or if they're...
all right, so you start checking the scrolls, and a lot of them are incomplete spells. However, you do find a couple of scrolls that do look complete and usable. So you can, if you click the lightning bolt, you can see what usable scrolls you find.
Alright. Very nice. Okay, and this is a smaller version of that circle that had the enchanted bell. Does this
Yeah.
one do the same thing, or does this have a different purpose?
It does the same thing. It's just a
So this
smaller,
enchants another...
more compact version. You suspect this is probably the original. Because it's smaller, unintuitively, it requires more magic to do the enchantment, which is probably why the bigger version was made.
Ah, okay. So, okay, they would do the exact same thing there. Alright. Let's move over to the side.
Alright, so you go to the
Start
top
checking
table,
this out.
and you notice that there are two scrolls, one that is large and one that is small. In addition, you see some sort of diagram showing multiple large outer circles, and one of the circles shows 4 smaller circles. Each of the smaller circles is marked by a number.
Do you recognize this? Is this a puzzle of some sort, or perhaps a magical codex key?
So what you can do is, if you have a religious background, this actually looks vaguely like something you might recognize. If you have a nature background, this looks like something kind of tingling your memory. And of course, if you have an arcana background, then you might remember something there. So either a nature, religion, or arcana check will do.
Okay. Well, I can definitely do the arcana with the help of my good investigative buddy. And if that does not work out so well, I can try looking at this through the eyes of nature.
So with a 30, you recognize this as
37.
an antiquated way of showing the faces of the moon. You recognize it from diagrams of rituals related to seasons. It seems to depict at the top, there's a number 12, and it seems to depict the new moon. To the right, there's a number 3. It seems to depict the waning moon. At the bottom, 6, it depicts the full moon. And the left, 9, it depicts the waxing moon. So I'll go ahead and type that up for you real quick. So top 12 is new, right, 3 is waning, bottom 6 is full, and left 9 is waxing. And in addition to that, you see 2 scrolls, which you can pick up from there, if you so wish.
12 and 3. I was writing that down. Okay. Yes, I will take a look at these 2 scrolls.
These scrolls are not magical. They have writing on them. If you look at their description, you can see what they say.
All right. Now let me go to inventory. Would you like me to read this? Or does the party wish to read it?
You can read it.
The
I'll
clay
get a
men.
name.
The clay men attend to their white city deep in the middle of the ocean that is but a memory. Upon the ports do the iron boats arrive, and beneath the unseen waters do the fish swim. They refuse to forget that the sea is long gone, and continue to frolic unawares. On the shores of the city, those from above who no longer live in the human sense appear. Once guided upon the river, now their journey is long and difficult, often taking decades. Down here upon the sea that is but a memory, we, as all others, are still limited, Certain arcane arts are muted or blocked completely. We cannot morph by magic. We cannot step from a place to place in an instant. We cannot pass through the air as if on a cloud. We can but walk and fly as physical beings. Why is this? Is it the tyranny of the gods? And so we seek the land above where their tyranny is lessened. They are cast down, they are not yet gone. We will destroy them. We will pull down their tyranny and their people. We will show ourselves as the true form of being, truly unlimited and free. This triad continues, but is quickly devolved into just curses and calls for vengeance, calls to put down their gods and their chosen peoples. This reads like the justification of a manifesto of terrorists. We cannot let this stand. Let's see what else this says. I found a potential candidate for the power I seek. From the Arcanus Watchtower. If I head south to the coast and then follow it east, I will pass through raised land covered in hills, cliffs leading to the sea below, and a dense jungle to the north. Continue along east and meet up with the coast again. Eventually I come across a patch of beach covered by innumerable white shells. During the day it is nothing special. Treating the lunar diagram as a clock, when the hands strike midnight the beach is quiet. Upon reaching 3, with the waning light reflected off the water in the dark, cool air, a structure appears from the sea just off the coast. The structure is small and simple. Upon reaching 6, the full light reflecting off the waves, a second layer to the structure appears. And finally at 9, the light waxing, the final ring of the structure rises, it starts again at 12. I have yet to get close, but I do feel it, the power within. It is said to be the tears of the gods, or a different, more interesting name. The sorceress tears. I think we have a place to be going. This is very interesting, Minas. Thank you for your hard work. All right. So, okay, I've got that written down. The new moon, the full moon, the waning and waxing moons.
Heck yeah.
Okay. And at 12, there is nothing. And at 3, there is a simple structure. The full moon has a large structure, okay. And then the waxing moon, just as it's ready to fade, is when the other ring appears, okay? So, 3. Very interesting. Okay.
There does sound to be a flaw in his notes, though. It is difficult to
Yes.
go from the new moon to the full moon via the waning moon.
You are correct. The waning and waxing are flipped. I'll take a second look at the clock.
Yeah, it seems to be flipped there as well.
Well, perhaps he was simply flawed in his note-taking.
Well, perhaps with the... All right, this is something I'm going to have to puzzle on a bit. Are there drawers on these tables?
No, they're
Are these just slabs?
they're just basic stone tables.
Okay. All right.
You
Going
can
back
see they're
over
cracking
here.
in some places. They clearly are older than the runes inscribed on top and diagrams on top.
Okay. All right. Going back over to this table here. I know I have taken all of the gems that have been empowered, but these other ones that have not yet been empowered for this, that, or the other reason, are there any that are quality, like magic crystals, like some we found from upstairs?
You might find 3 that are decent quality.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. Because I already have some from upstairs. I'll just add to the inventory.
The raw crystals really haven't been worked on yet, but they're the kind of where they have the most potential.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Potential. All right. Thanks. Okay. One last cursory examination of the room, on the walls, if there might be like a loose stone, maybe secret compartment. I don't know. I'm just kind of doing a general search for anything interesting.
Yeah, you look around and yeah, you do see some. As you look around, you do see on one of the walls somebody kind of etched some words, but it appears to be some sort of rambling. If anything, it gives you the idea, something that you might see somebody's losing their sanity, perhaps.
Ah, I see. Yes. He was
Well,
doing his magical
You guys figure out what you're
research
gonna do
as the
next. I
sex-
gotta go check the dog. Be right back.
Well, it was very clear he was slowly losing his sanity as the Zorg infected his body.
Seems like it.
I'm not 100% sure what else we might find here, but we do have some interesting things to have a look out for in the future.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anybody else could think of?
Mm,
Hmm.
Otherwise, we might very well be done here in this particular place. Perhaps a rest, maybe a good meal. This was
yes,
definitely a reasonably difficult experience.
absolutely. That it was.
What say you, brother?
Well, I do not wish to spend too much more time in here.
Not a bad idea.
How many
Shall
days
we
has
leave?
it been?
I am not 100% sure, but I know it's been quite a while being in here versus out. Perhaps we can head back to civilization and see if anything has come from our would-be stalkers.
Well,
Perhaps,
for about
perhaps
the
not.
next for the next hour, we are in the desert.
Ugh.
Well, an hour out there is not so long in here.
No, an hour in here, we will be in the desert.
Okay. Well, is there anywhere else we are wanting to explore? Or shall we just sit and recuperate ourselves for an hour whilst we wait for light?
Well, I am doing some map research at the moment, so I will be distracted.
Of course. There are a couple of tables in there you can work on to spread your map out and write clearly if you wish. And I do have a bottle of ink if you are requiring one.
That will probably not be necessary.
So Cyclonus is working on the map.
You're not coming through again.
Jeez. Okay, Cyclonus working on the map. So, Judge, Darcy, and Gizzard, what are you three going to be doing?
Making our charcuterie board out of our dried food, our preserved cheese, and crackers.
I like this idea.
For myself. You have to say something if you want something.
Can I have some?
She hands you over a few like you're a kid making his own Lunchable.
You're
that
making a
works.
charcuterie. You're making a charcuterie board. Do you have a knife?
I have a dagger.
Okay, that works. Because I have a utility knife I'd been using for food, just in case you didn't have anything to cut with. Judge will go ahead and help as well. I'll help prepare food and sit down and think about and discuss with people. What are we thinking of this Minos and the new revelations of the Zorg?
Well, I am certain that Delena will be very disappointed in him, although I suspect she probably already knows of his lack of faith.
Yeah. Still, it might not be a bad idea. You did want to speak with her once, and I tried to get a hold of her myself, but she told me merely to go to the tree. It was not very helpful, considering that's where we were going anyway. Perhaps this will be a slightly different circumstances.
What is your intention in speaking with her?
Now, my intention was to ask a few more philosophical questions to get her take on it, but those questions have been rendered moot. However, I believe you wanted to speak in friendship, brother?
I wanted to understand what her goals and motivations were, perhaps propose some sort of alliance, but also, at the very least, ensure that our actions were not intruding upon hers.
Ah, yes.
I mean,
That is
certainly.
something.
I'm sorry, what was that, Darcy?
It's just, if we are all fighting for our existence, them as well. Is it
Not
really?
Is it, what was that?
Is it in our best interest to try to help them? At the end of the day, isn't it only one pantheon who's going to survive?
I do not know that that is true.
I was going to say, from what I have been gathering with this tournament, for lack of a better word, it is not necessarily whether all of the other pantheons are killed. It is simply the first to achieve a level of godly power again.
I do not think that even that is true. I mean, how many elder gods have we been aware of, over the centuries? That's also a question for the DM, since we should have some idea of that.
Right, we're sitting here like, hey, elder gods, what was the deal again? What was the tournament's rules?
Can we get
You
a
didn't give us
rule book?
much.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
not even saying
from-
that. I mean, I'm like, are there more than 6 elder gods?
Yes. And from what you guys understand, there's a limited number of pantheons that will ascend. So there is once all the slots are filled, then it's over. But it's not just one pantheon. Unfortunately,
don't
you
have-
also weren't told how many pantheons it would actually be. So as far as you know, it could be 2, but it's definitely more than 1.
And so, of course, there is some sense of urgency, but the thing is that if it was only 1, she was clearly far more powerful than we were. She could have killed us all and ascended right there. For all we know, she may already have that ability, and she is just biding her time for some mysterious reason. It would be nice to know what that is, but she has not shown herself to be hostile in the way that these Punk Pantheon has. And if she does not wish to ascend, there must be some reason why. Perhaps
I'm
she would
not
be
saying
willing
that
to
we
share
make
that information.
I'm not saying we should make enemies, but also understand if there is, in fact, a limited spot, we don't know the limit.
It is certainly true, but I am not asking for us to give up a place in line or something like that. I only wish to have a conversation with her to understand her motivations.
As they're talking about that, Judge, I'm still listening, but he is going to kind of come over here, and he's going to take out 6 arrows. One quiver is 6, right?
He's going to take out 6 arrows and what?
And he's going to slowly dip the heads of the arrows into the purple goo, and then pull it up and spin it, And you said the purple goo gets kind of hard after a while.
Yeah.
So it goes from being gooey to being hard. And then I'll dip it in again and then take it out and twirl it until I can get a good layer of little more hardened purple goo onto the arrowheads of these particular arrows.
Okay.
When we have time to prepare, it's a good idea to prepare.
All right. So Judge goes through and he's working on his arrowheads. It's like Honan is working on the map. Darcy and Gizzard, what are you two doing?
How's the charcuterie board treating you? Hello? Hello?
Darcy, I think Gizzard is asking about your charcuterie board.
How's that going?
Darcy's ignoring everyone.
Oh, that's
Fascinating.
completely out of character.
I think she dropped the call.
Could be.
Oh no, she's still there.
Well,
Maybe some distraction came up and she can't respond.
probably.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll take that as you guys are talking about food then.
Yeah, fine with it.
And
how long-
You're gonna appear back at midnight the next night, or the next day, whenever that is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was actually curious how that worked. Is time accelerating for him because we are inside the
Ooh, that's a really
Inside the,
fun
thing.
theoretical question. Yeah, if
Yeah.
they leave the tower, am I still on tower time?
No, because
No, I-
you ascend. You essentially die. You ascend when you die, so you leave the area. So you're gonna show up when it's at midnight. Absolute.
Okay, understood.
Well,
okay,
that's cool.
because I was thinking because if we're in the tower, time travels faster, so he should show up sooner, right?
That basically means staying in the tower for 4 hours.
Yeah. So like I said, it's absolute time. It doesn't matter whether you're in the tower or out of the tower. When it's midnight in the outside world, he's gonna show up.
Well, we can
Alright.
wait here until the jungle and start traveling. He will show up soon, but yeah, that should take a little while of our time off of waiting for him to remanifest. How long did it take for me to do 6 arrows? Can I go ahead and do like 4 more, or was that the entire hour?
Yeah, we'll say for it takes you about 10 minutes to do those arrows.
All right.
Well, looking at the map, that is perhaps a unique opportunity, such as it is. I very much wish to return to Sepesus, at least for the day, and it would actually be faster to get there from here than it would be from the jungle.
Oh. You're thinking maybe we should exit the desert? How long do you think we will be in that environment?
The desert itself, perhaps an hour. If I am able to move quickly with everyone.
Oh, that sounds like an excellent idea. Well, shall we attempt this travel?
No time like the present.
Perhaps we can take the rest of your charcuterie board and finish it on the way.
I should hope so.
Okay.
So is the plan to leave the tower then?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. You guys don't have to go out manually then. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go back the 20 minutes, go forward another 2 hours, and then just take you outside.
You didn't find anything important in the room besides like a few scrolls and the crystals, right?
Correct. I also found the backwards lunar map, but I have that written down.
And the crystals were useful or nah?
The ones I took were useful. There's a handful of crystals still there. I'm sure that they can be mundanely cut into jewelry or something if you wish to grab some.
Yeah, basically. She's getting her costume jewelry that she can wear during fights that don't matter if they break.
Fair enough. There's
But she
probably
will wear
about
jewelry.
24 uncut stones there, or uncut crystals. So you can just write however many of those that you want in your inventory.
Yeah.
All right, so you leave the tower, and looking to the west, you see a river. You see a number of large mesas rising from the desert sands, and to the north, you obviously see the ocean. And then, of course, to the east, you notice that the desert, you can see slowly the desert becomes less arid and eventually green going this direction. So what do you do?
Well, the way I see it, there are two possibilities here. And before I get into that in character, how tall are these mountains, more or less?
The mountains, they're going to be fairly tall, so somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 feet, depending on the specific mountain you're talking about.
Hmm.
Pretty good.
You're talking about the mountains, not the mesas, right?
Yeah,
okay.
the actual
Okay, got it,
mountain
got it.
range. All right, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take about 10 hours to, 10 miles.
10 hours.
Well, the two possibilities are I could go ahead and loop around the mountain range, which adds some travel time, or I could see if it is possible to get over the mountains. If you look off to the east, the southeast, more or less, there is plenty of time of travel before getting there. I wonder if I could gain enough altitude to fly over. It would save a little bit of time. The primary interest in doing so... Oh, no, sorry. I was actually doing my math wrong.
Yes.
Okay, I was actually counting it from the Stellarium as opposed to the actual Tower of Menace. If we try to go over the mountains, one advantage is that will take us past the Stellarium, so perhaps we could scout that out first. And if we get over, that would buy us some extra time since it is only 2 in the morning. Things really do not open at Cephesus for another 6 hours. So perhaps we could look around a bit. It gives me extra time to try to get over the mountains. Or if we wish to go the route that is probably easier, I could go ahead and circle around and follow the mountains to the south so that we do not have to go over them. It will take a little longer, but we will still get there before daybreak.
So one route you can survey an area a little bit as we go through, and the other is just shorter.
The shorter one is the one that allows us to survey, and the longer one is the other one's longer, but it's easier because we don't have to go over a mountain range.
The risk taker in me says, let's survey. What could happen while we're on Flintstone's air? It'll be fine.
It does have the advantage in that the location would benefit you, conceivably. I mean, I'm certain Gizzard would be a master at playing viol, but there's probably more for you, I assume.
Yes, as lovely as it is to see everyone else have nice little baubles, I would like one of my own.
So, do we take a vote on this?
I think it sounds great to me. Very interesting. Let's be adventurous, yes? What say you, Gizzard? And I just kind of, put my hand on his back. Little adventure, yes.
Sounds great. I'm an adventure fan. Must say.
Very well, we will attempt that then. We probably should not do anything since Tavros seems to be lost in his logic notes and Conglomerate is not with us. Yeah, if we are going to move, we had better do so quickly here.
Okay.
What's the speed?
You're not coming through.
What's the speed of your creature?
It's 80, so based on the movement to miles traveled, it looks like it should be 8 hexes per hour.
All right, so 24 over a turn. Okay.
Should be 32.
8 times 4. Oh, 32.
Yeah.
That's pretty far. Okay, fair enough. And that's obviously not counting mountains. That's just assuming you're just flying straight. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got?
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn into a Quetzalcoatlus, although maybe we should just call it a Pteranodon. And
Hey, what's the forecast? That's going to affect flight.
okay, I actually can do that. I'm going to cast Druidcraft.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, make it a nice flight. Let's not have turbulence.
But yeah, Druidcraft, literally, you create a timely, harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours. The effect might manifest a golden orb for clear skies, cloud for rain, falling snowflakes for snow, and so on.
All right. Is that a cantrip or is that a?
It is.
All right. Okay, so you cast a spell, and right now it is partially cloudy, and about 3 hours you expect a heavier clouds to kind of roll in and some light rain, and then within an hour or two after that, the rain will get heavy.
We should be to the other side of the mountains by that point, assuming we do not spend too much time looking at the Stellarium. And if we have to stop along the way, well, I do believe we have the tiny huts to keep us relatively dry.
Yes.
All right, well, I guess we had better get on a move. So, yep, I'll go ahead and change over.
6. All right, so you turn into this pterodactyl-looking creature. So, what is the plan for attaching people to it?
Well, can we ride on his back? The back.
Yeah, but how do we not get blown off?
You can probably
we have
get
some-
one person, maybe two, to kind of hang on the back of the neck and everything. But beyond that, it's just going to get awkward, and people are not going to be secure. Actually, now that I think about it, that is everybody. If you need Tavros points, just kill off Dale.
I
Can
could
we
grab two with the claws, but the landing will be rough.
Yeah, fix and say, can we just have him dangle?
Actually, this is much larger creature. I mean, your standard large type creature could.
Yeah, he can certainly hold everybody. The question is securing the people.
If people don't mind blowing spell slots, we could also turn said big load into a smaller load, and they can just be inside someone's backpack or something.
Turn him into a rabbit. Hope he doesn't jump off.
Hey, if he kills himself, that's his problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Could turn him into a turtle. Then he'd be his own little backpack.
Yeah, I would say if you can turn Tavros into something small and somebody puts them in his backpack or whatever, and then you have 2 other people can hold on because obviously Conglomerate's not alive right now.
Look, if he misbehaves, I can just treat him like a blue shell. It'll be fine.
Alright, is that what you're going to do?
Turtle Tavros.
If so, whoever wants to do it, go ahead and spin your spell slot.
If that's what we are gonna do, unless you guys want to try the whole he dangle in your claws thing.
It's fine by me either way.
Well, I was gonna say,
Yes.
He was going to say,
your
"Boom."
standard large riding beast. You're a much larger creature than your standard riding beast. But would that not allow more people to fit on his back if we had a couple of ropes going down his back to hold on to his rails? So that way, he does not have to, dangle people and then drop them before he lands.
So you're going to try to rig up some sort of rope thing on his back that Tavros can hold on to, is that what you're saying?
Are we having primitive seatbelts?
That's kind of the idea, yes. But if you wish to try that, or if you want to just grab Tavros and we fly off, that might be faster. It is up to you.
Yeah, I would say if you want to do the
finish
rope
that
rigging
thought.
thing, that's possible, but that'll require a skill check, and you'll know the results of the skill check based on what happens. If you know what I mean.
Well, that is up to you if you wish to try. I just threw it out there as a suggestion. We take vote or something.
To save spells, we can just see if the rope trick works. If the rope trick doesn't work, then I can turn him into a turtle.
Okay.
Okay. So who's going to try to do the rigging?
Is it a survival trick?
Actually, I was going to look at the skills to kind of get an idea of what it would be. But survival does sound about right, thinking about it. So yeah, we'll say survival.
Yeah. Who's good at survival?
Not me.
Well,
Mine is
I
very
can give
mediocre.
whoever does it inspiration, so...
Yeah, I guess the irony is the person who's best at survival can't actually do
Survive.
the thing. Well, I mean, it's like
Oh, hey, look at
if I turn
that.
into a human to do the rigging, I can't put it on myself.
Yeah.
I have a +3 in it. Anyone have that at least,
you don't have
or
to have
more?
proficiency. If you have anybody can roll it. Anybody can try.
No,
I know,
I'm
it's
really
just
good at
higher
survival.
chance of doing better if they have a better thing.
Oops, I wasn't trying to move. I was
All right.
typing.
Mine
That's
is
certainly true.
mine is 11.
Mine's 13. I'll try it, and I'll just give myself inspiration.
Okay.
Good idea.
And I can give you assistance and guidance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So that's a 24. Okay. 25. So with that, yeah, you're able. You take 50 feet of rope. I'm assuming you have at least that, right?
Yeah, between all of us, I would hope we at least have that.
Okay. So you take 50 feet of rope, and you rig up basically a rope harness that everybody can kind of, they can use to support themselves and hold on to and everything. You're not sure how well it'll work with the whole group, but with just the 3 of you, you're pretty sure it'll be fine.
All right, I'll look back at everybody and see if everybody's ready to go.
Technically, Darcy, you could have rolled a second d20 because I was giving you advantage, but 19 is a really high score already.
I mean, I still could if you think it would make a large difference.
Well, you have a chance
you
of
land
rolling
that
natural
crit.
20. Yeah.
I mean, not that that's an auto success, but doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll again to see if you
I'll
get any
let them-
higher. But for now,
All
it's
right.
25. See what you get before. 16. Yeah, you did better first time. Okay.
Yep. But we'll keep that one.
All right, so you get everybody kind of holding the rope, all seated. So what's next?
All right. He looks back. I look at everybody. We're all sitting there. Give Cyclonin a nod and a gentle pat, letting him know we are ready.
Let me make extra sure. Judge, are you ready?
I am.
Darcy, are you ready?
Sure. How are you, though? You have 3 people strapped around you like a strange gadget built.
It is awkward, but no worse than no more awkward than flying in the first place. Gizzard, are you ready?
Good.
I'm ready.
I will stay low to the ground first to make. Oh, Conglomerate, are you ready? Oh,
I'm
no, he's dead.
ready.
Davros, are you ready?
He grunts while looking backwards.
Yeah.
I feel like I am being haunted by Conglomerate at this very moment. Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and spread out the
Guys hear
wings
me?
and start flapping. What was that?
I was just asking if you guys could hear me because I felt like my connection was bad for a second. Asshole.
Yeah, you were coming through, or at least partly.
Cool.
All right, well, I'm going to spread out my wings and take to the, well, I'll start going, but I'm going to stay low to the ground for a little while here first. I want to make sure that if anybody falls off, they're not falling very far. So
Yeah, fair enough.
be kind of nap of the earth flying for now.
So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is have you give me an athletics check.
Okay. Let me double check the critter.
Yeah, so it'll be his strength, obviously.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you start going to take off, and it's extremely, you have trouble getting your balance. I'm gonna have a random person make a strength roll. That would be the first person in the list, which will be Darcy. Darcy, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Oh, wonderful. The thing I'm not good at. How long has it been?
Just a few minutes.
Hooray! I get to keep my skill thingy.
Okay, so you basically go to take off, and you accidentally flap too hard or one direction, and the weight kind of shifts, and Darcy's holding on, and her hands slip, and she goes, and hits the ground. You are low to the ground, though, so she only takes...
Can Judge try and reach forward and catch her if she's in the front? I'm probably right behind her.
That's fair. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics check.
All right.
You go to reach for her, she slips through your fingers, hits the ground, and takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, I am immediately circle back and land right next to Darcy. Apologies. He's being able to go airborne like this is still new to me.
She is What are we, in the jungle or are we in the desert? Which one?
The desert.
She is brushing off the load of sand she rolled in.
Judge leans down and just kind of wiggles his finger to prestidigitate that off, and then offers you a hand back up onto the Flintstone air.
All right.
Alright. Hold on. Let's try this again, but how about I sit here? In case anything else happens.
I scoot forward and let her sit there.
She's gonna kind of like look between the distribution of weight because some of our characters are heavier than others. So it's just like, all right, where's the weight hanging?
So Tavros is in the back, and he's probably the heaviest. No, actually, Judge is probably the heaviest, followed by Tavros, and you're in the middle.
Whilst we're doing this, Judge can go ahead and go human form to make it easier on Cyclonin.
Okay.
That would probably be the best, honestly, for everybody to do, especially the big boys.
Tavros will just do that. So, Gizzard, are you training into a human?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to try again, Cyclonin, it'll be a lower DC now that everybody's a human.
All right, I'll go ahead and attempt this again. As with the first time, Judge, are you ready?
I am.
Gizzard, are you ready?
Yeah.
Tavros,
do it.
are you ready?
He grunts again.
Yeah. It's,
Moo.
And Darcy, are you ready?
She is tying her hair back into a ponytail because that's going to get everywhere in flight. I am now.
Very well. Okay, spread out my wings again and make a second attempt at getting airborne.
All right, another athletics check.
Wow, this is some pretty mediocre
no.
rolls.
But
I was-
because everybody turned into a human and the weight is lighter, you actually succeed.
Hey, Conglomerate got ahead of us on this. He's the lightest one of all.
Yeah.
All right.
true.
So you are now airborne. So you can move one turn of movement. So 32 hexes.
Alright, I'll kind of break this up. So 2 and 1 thing here. Okay. Straight line. Wow, the desert seems so peaceful at night.
So as you fly down below, you can see where the character of the desert changes a bit. You can see these kind of gray cliffs, and you can see embedded in one of the cliffs at the top is this relatively tall dome structure. But you can see that the structure has definitely seen better days, and it seems to be sitting on top of a flat area of ground, and then in front of the structure is a cliff, maybe 50 feet high, and a little tiny stream that peters off pretty quickly. From the air, it's not really possible to get a lot of extra details, so you kind of have to land to see more.
I do believe we have spotted the Stellarium. And oh, she'd already lost track of how many hexes I had moved.
Can you see the? Can everybody see the tower-looking object here?
Yeah, I can.
Hold on a second.
All right.
Okay, I think I've moved 5 hexes so far. So 6, 7, and then it looks like it's in the next hex over, correct?
Yeah, so it's basically in this hex here.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fly there, and I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of lazy circles around the Stellarium so everybody can get a good look before trying to pick a suitable landing point.
Okay.
Definitely being observant.
So one of the things you're gonna notice as you go to land is like I said, on the left side, there's the cliff. As you're circling around, you do notice that there seems to be some sort of cave entrance on the cliff. The stellarium itself seems to be in the middle on the flat area, and to the right you can see it's kind of rocky, and you see sand. You do see some bird-like creatures down there, and what's possibly centipedes. Hard to tell from the air, but definitely there are creatures down there. So, do you want to land at the bottom of the cliff? Do you want to land right next to the stellarium? Do you want to land on the right side where all the rocks are? What kind of area do you want to land in? And once you tell me, I'll open the map and move you to that area.
Perhaps we should land as close to the
Perhaps we should find
stellarium
a
as
place.
safe.
Yeah, perhaps a place where we might recuperate a bit if we're going to be having a difficult time inside there.
Well, this is only for a brief scouting operation. I'd still rather get to town. So we should not be getting too
Alright.
invested.
All right.
In that case,
So basically, general landing area then would be left, middle, or right.
actually, before you land, can we just maybe, if we are heading to town, just take another circle around? I will make as many notes as possible. If we are expecting any sort of combat, we can come back from town to here, right?
Yeah, you definitely see creatures down there. So if you land pretty much anywhere, there's some chance of combat.
Yeah.
In that case, perhaps we should best wait until some other time. But at least we have now confirmed where it is.
Yeah, and Judge is going to make any mental notes, how these creatures look. Even though we're way up high, I want to try and get approximations, if these centipedes and scorpions are like giant or huge or,
Okay.
medium creature sized.
Fair enough.
just
You can
try and-
give me a perception check for that. In the meantime, stay where you are. I gotta go deal with the dog. Be right back.
I'm taking my perception check with advantage because Gavel has advantage on sight and sound perception checks. He can aid me.
Woohoo!
Okay. Yeah, if we do not land, we will at least have this area known, and when we come back, we'll have a better idea of what we are expecting.
Alrighty. So with an 18, you see that the centipedes are indeed giant by centipede standards, but they're roughly medium creatures. Let me double check that. Yeah, they're medium creatures, by categorization. And the birds are also large for birds, but they're still medium creatures.
Okay, so that's a pretty good idea. I mean, these centipedes, do they look like similar to those very colorful centipedes that we have fought before?
They do look similar. You're not sure if they're the exact same, but they do look similar.
Okay, so just so we'll have an idea of what we're walking into. Okay, that is all I think we are able to do here if we wish to continue our flight.
Very well. Okay, so that was 8 hexes at first. That should have been the first hour of travel.
Okay.
So now I'll be doing the second.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so as you're flying, you see another river, and you see the ruins of a town. It looks like, from what you can tell from a distance, that it was long abandoned. But the building structures do look reminiscent of other settlements you've seen on the island. So not ancient, but abandoned at least by several years.
That is interesting. A failed colony of some sort.
Perhaps disease or whatever they were looking for wasn't as prosperous as they thought it would be.
That is something to keep in mind for later, I suppose. Do we wish to get a little closer and inspect that?
We can, but it's up to you since you're the one who's driving.
And how do the rest of us feel? I mean, are we up to running away if necessary? And if you do land and change back to investigate, can you produce this for
Well,
me a second time?
as with the tower, it would just be a brief inspection. I do not expect. We do not know of anything of significance here. We are probably better finding out more information first, but since we know
Alright.
it is here, we can ask when we get to town.
It is a good idea, yes. Let us go ahead and land then. If there's... I'm going to be watching wherever we're going to be heading for a landing spot to make sure there's no surprises.
Yeah. Well, I am not thinking of landing, just doing a couple of circles around it.
Oh, in that case, I will do my best to be observant and take notes.
All right, so I'll go ahead and 1, 2, 3, and then I'll start doing some circles around it so we can inspect it a little more closely.
Okay, so yeah, you do see a bunch of buildings, kind of similar to buildings in Cephesus and other places you've seen. Obviously, run down and disrepair. You do see in the streets. You can see there are near the river that there are trees growing by and grasses. Although you notice that there's something odd about it. The things have a kind of sickly pallor to them. And as you're flying around, it's difficult to make out because you see some low-lying ground fog, but you do see glimpses of movement down there. But there's something odd about the movement. It doesn't look like people walking around or normal animals. But without getting in the fog, it'd probably be hard to tell.
Judge, if we're circling around, Judge can have Gavel help. Gavel is an owl who has advantage on sight and sound observation, and I could look through his eyes, and we can kind of give each other maybe the help to get a quick, closer flyby look.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
All right.
Oh, that's your. Oh, okay, that's the old one. Okay, got it. Yeah, so Gamble tries to get close, but again, with the fog, it seems a bit dangerous. So, kind of skimming over the fog, he's not really able to resolve much more than I already described.
Alrighty.
You do, however, notice that when looking through Gavel's eyes, that the water and the plant life is more sickly to the south than it is to the north. And it gets more and more sickly as you go further south.
Oh. Yes, this might be something.
Well, we are going to be traveling to the south here, so we can keep an eye on that a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start moving south. So that's the end of the second hour.
Okay. So the sun starts getting it's getting close to rising. You can see the light kind of hitting the clouds. In general, kind of brightening up the air. At the same time, the clouds themselves are getting thicker, which would obviously have the opposite effect to some degree as well. As the rain hasn't hit yet, but it will in another hour. Okay, so actually, as you're flying south, two other things you notice. One thing is you notice some sort of large salt flats over this direction. And kind of in the shape of a lake, but kind of just it's flat and it's very white. Is why you get that sense of salt. And flying to the south, you notice that as it gets sickly, more and more sickly, it yeah, definitely the plant life as you get south starts dying off.
Alrighty. I have an idea. I do believe I know where the mines of Idian is located. And you know, only an Idian would work there. It is going to take some time to gain enough altitude to get over the mountains. So as I am gaining, why don't we take a look at that area? I will not be flying low because that defeats the purpose. But at least we know what is in the area. So what I'm going to do then is 1, 2.
So here you can see where the road ends, where the hills are. You can't directly see it from your height because the hills are in the way, but the road does end suddenly there. And actually, you do see some buildings, so I'm going to go ahead and display this anyway. Hold on. Real quick. Hold on. Let me get this going. Come on. Doo-doo-doo. And then that would... So not there. Sorry, it's being a little stubborn. Mines of Hideon. Ownership, observer. So theoretically, you should now see the token show up where the mines are. So yeah, you do see some mines, some holes in some in some hills, but you also see vertical mining happening as well. So you can see kind of rectangular holes in the ground and various equipment, and you see a number of buildings where and you can see tiny people going to and fro down there.
Alright, I wonder if the mine is still active or if it has been taken over. Well, I'm not going to get close enough to find out right now. But alright, let's see.
So
And that
you're
was
seeing the like what time of day is it? Is it nighttime?
It's
4:20.
yeah, it's 4:20 in the morning.
Okay, so it's still dark enough to where they would need fires. So are there any fire lights down there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Alrighty. Well, let's see. So that's 3. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. At the point. Looking to the south, are there any areas where the mountains are shorter than others?
Probably right. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Probably right here where this one looks a little bit more stunted. There's a path kind of going this way that's a little bit shorter.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and try that then. So, back here. Hold on a sec. Just got to finish saving something. Seeing, okay, and I've only moved 3 so far. Okay, so there's the... Okay, so here for 4 hours. I'm still trying to gain altitude. 5, 6. So yeah, I spent an hour mainly just trying to gain altitude.
Okay, so as you approach the mountains, you do find an area where it looks like you could fit through, but as you get closer, you're blasted by heavy wind. It seems to be some sort of channel in the mountains, and the heavy wind starts jostling you around. So I'm gonna make you give me a DC 15 athletics check.
All right.
Okay, so you make the athletics check. You're jostling around. Everybody's holding on, but you made it by enough that you're able to keep steady enough that nobody has to roll. So that'd be one. You have 3 left, you said?
Let's see. I think I'm at 6 now, so 2 more.
So 1, 2. So as you come across in the hour, it's now 5 o'clock, and so the rain starts sprinkling down. But you're over the highest area of the mountain, and you're kind of on your way down now. So given that the rain is still light, you have basically another hour before the rain becomes a real problem. So go ahead and move.
All right, this is excellent. So let's see, give it an hour, and the terrain there with all the little palm trees, that's basically
It's
6
light
per.
zone.
Yeah, okay, but that works out to be like 6 per turn, right?
If you're on foot, yeah. If you're
Okay.
flying, obviously you're above it, so it doesn't affect anything.
All right, so what I'm thinking I'll do then is I'm gonna go ahead and keep low to the ground. I'm gonna fly to here, and then go ahead and come in for a landing so everybody can disembark.
Okay, so you come in for a landing. Obviously you kind of got this load shifting behind you. So one more DC 10 athletics check.
I don't know if I use the correct sheet.
Alright, so you come in for a landing, you hit the ground, and finally stop. It is now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so another hour passed, right?
It not quite. That's only about a little less than half of that. So the idea being is we'd use the other half hour to
okay.
walk to the town, unless we wanted to loiter for a little bit and wait for the town to really open first. That also maybe decouples any critter sightings from us.
Alright, so anyway, yeah, so you've got half an hour until the rain as you land. So what do you guys do?
I suppose perhaps it would make more sense to get to the shelter first rather than traveling in the rain. So, shall we continue to the town?
What's the terrain bias? Is it jungle?
Yeah, it's light
Light
jungle,
jungle.
around you. It gets really dense to the south.
Can I use those big leafed, kind of like elephant ear looking plants to make myself a makeshift umbrella for future rains?
Okay, you can certainly try. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Hooray!
Hooray!
If nothing else, I have an interesting looking parasol. Or just a big leaf.
You know, Gizzard, it looks like one of those would suit you as well.
Yeah. You can get the perforated leaves or the big solid leaves. There's a variety, so it's whichever one you want.
Cool.
You know what? I want a cute leaf umbrella. I'm gonna use my bardic ability for that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Aw, that's okay.
It's one you didn't have before. Okay, yeah, you've fashioned yourself something you think will work. It looks good.
All right, well, let us go ahead and move to the town.
Yes.
What's the paces?
Alright,
Been a
so
while.
you arrive in town basically just in time for the heavy rain to start hitting. So let's go ahead and go in there.
Shall we just get to Sebastian's uncle's house quickly
Yeah,
before
so
we
let
get
me,
too terribly soaked?
You actually start in the south, but are you guys? Well, actually, I can start you at the gate. That makes the most sense. eventually. There it goes. All right, so everybody should see the map now. So you should see, be at the bottom section. Actually, you guys came in the west, didn't you? So I changed my mind. You're not there. You're at the other entrance.
We did approach from the east side of town. This one could make more sense unless we looped around. Although I'm not against looping around. Oh, never mind. That's what you meant by that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard west, so I was thinking the gate we came in the first time.
Yeah, there you go. So that's probably a bit more appropriate. So you come in through the gates. You can see people kind of heading in as the rain starts to get heavier. People will start heading off toward shelter. So what do you do?
This is truly a beautiful morning.
Yes. Someplace I never expected to see you walking again.
I am certain that there are surprises in store for more than just you. I do not believe I even explored this area of town. Oh, this looks familiar, though.
So as you get to the farmers market. So this agora, unlike the other one, is more focused on fruits and vegetables and animals and that kind of thing.
And big honking snakes. Oh, I'm kind of taking the scenic route here. Oops.
People are hawking their wares.
Yeah, it is never too early for the farmers and the ranchers.
You recognize the serpent's tooth.
I could use a drink a bit later. Actually, thinking about that, I go ahead and pour myself a drink into my stein and start enjoying a good mead breakfast.
You've passed by Vulcan's Hall again. You remember Vulcan is the one who seems to think he's a god in uniform, but you realize he's not. Past the door proper. People are out despite the rain. People are still out shopping. Pass through, the number of people in the streets gets smaller.
Okay.
And I don't
Getting
know
close.
why
He's peeking out of some sniper hide or something.
you recognize the guardhouse, the main guardhouse, by the blue roof.
All right, I go over and I take the initiative in terms of knocking on the door.
Okay. A servant opens the door and says, can I help you?
We are here to see Barrios and Sebastian. Are they available?
Certainly. I am new here. Who is calling?
Tell them El Gato and his friends are here.
I'll be right back. Please wait here. And he goes, and you hear, what? And then some more mumbling, and then he comes back. Please come this way. Although there is some concern of your... just come this way. And he leads you inside. And Barrios is looking, and he sees El Gato, and he squints at you, Judge, and he says, I was informed that a certain El Gato was dead, but yet he stands here, looks changed. He looks different somehow, although I can't quite place it, but he's certainly alive.
Yes.
Did I
we
not
all
say
thought-
that I would probably fail even at that?
We all thought he was very much dead, and it was an amazing experience being brought back, yes? Why don't you tell him all about it and just kind of give you a good-natured slap on the back? Tell him all about how you died and then came back.
So you had a near-death experience.
I suppose
him
you
on
could
the
say
spot.
that he's close to the truth. Or perhaps it is more accurate to say that some of my companions maybe are a little too quick to fear the worst.
Hmm.
I am
I
sh-
can understand that.
I'm sure you have dealt with a panicky soldier in your day.
Well,
Oh,
I
now he's
am
just
happy
throwing
to
us under
see
the bus.
that you've managed to survive your ordeal. What was it that was so... How was it they thought you were dead and yet you were not?
We managed to get separated for a time.
Oh, now it is clear. They didn't know your body. They didn't have your body, but they assumed that you must have died, fallen down a pit or something. I assume.
And there was a great deal of flame involved. In fact, I go ahead and take a swig from my not yet depleted stein. I believe they thought that they had recovered my remains.
Ah, yes. Well, I hope a lesson was learned. You must find the body before you assume it's dead.
Well, it was indeed quite the adventure, and I would certainly hope that the next one is not so harrowing.
And Sebastian comes out of the house and into the central courtyard, and he sees Cyclona, and he says, "Ah, ghost!" And then he looks, and the mother says, "No, dear, he was just never dead." Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I thought it was odd that he would die. And then Barry says, "Anybody can die, son."
That is certainly true.
And then he looks at him. "I'm not your son. I know. I know."
Not my dad.
You're not my dad.
Speaking of which, you were supposed to leave for home already, but nothing. When you depart, you happen to be going toward Katniss.
There is a very real possibility that we will be doing just that.
Well, if you're going to Katniss within the next few days, can I ask you to escort Sebastian here? He needs to go home for a while. He needs to talk to his father.
That can probably be arranged. If so, I promise not to scare him too much.
Okay. And he looks at Sebastian. "You will be going home this time." Sebastian says, "Yes, I know." So, how you left in a hurry? You had something to do. Everything turn out okay?
More or less. Some issues that have been plaguing the region seem to have been resolved. So the disappearances of villagers should largely have been resolved. So there should not be mysterious creatures lurking around to the south of the town.
Very good. Things have gotten more quieter around here. I haven't heard of any new issues, amazingly, after everything that happened. But I did get a curious letter. I was told to deliver it to you, but unfortunately I was unable to identify the person who gave it to me. Unfortunately, I no longer have the letter. I was told to memorize it and to repeat it. And the person burned the letter afterward. And let's see if I can get this straight. It says, "To those who continue to be a thorn in our side, you have two options. One option is ambush. The second option is that you meet us at a certain place, the ruins of a town called Tenemus. and we will resolve our differences there. That's the end of it.
Are you familiar with this town?
It sounds familiar. Are you familiar with the Mines of Idiom?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Well, at least I've seen it before.
Well, as you probably already know, there is a somewhat nearby settlement called Rios, but it is a bit distant. It's about a day's travel, and you spend a lot of that travel going through the desert. So there was a settlement that was constructed much closer. The road was never finished, but the idea was once the road was completed that it would take much shorter time to get there. Anyway, this settlement was called Tenemus. And the settlement, there was a convenient river that flowed from the mountains, and the town was built there, and everything was fine for a while. But then the people in the town started getting sick, and it turned out that the whole river somehow became polluted. I don't know what polluted it exactly, but my understanding is that it has something to do with the source of the river. So much so that there's waterfalls there, and some people have called them the Death Mist Falls. I don't know if the waterfall themselves actually has anything to do with it, but some people believe it does. But regardless, the town has been abandoned. If the water source is no good, people cannot survive. The crops cannot survive, especially in the desert, where it's very difficult to grow food properly, even near a river. So that's basically it. This happened, I want to say, around 20 years ago.
That is quite fascinating. I believe I may have seen this town recently as well.
Yes, from a distance, but yes.
Oh, we have missed an opportunity. For now.
Well,
I'm certainly glad we did not explore it in our current state.
we are in desperate need of a bit of a rest. But,
Speak a little louder, Tyler.
sorry, Judge said yes, we are in a bit of need of a good rest. But yes, having this information can be more advantageous.
Well, very good. If you are in town, you can rest here. If if you are going to Katniss in the next few days, please let me know as soon as you can, so I can send good Sebastian with you. If not, I will have to make other arrangements.
I'm sure we'll be able to escort him there in short order. We can discuss our plans more detailed.
Speak a little louder again.
Sorry, was yes, I'm sure we'll have no problems escorting young Sebastian to Cantonese, but perhaps we can discuss the exact details of our plans over breakfast.
All right then. Well, very good. Unfortunately, I have a meeting with the Archon in about half an hour. We still have we still have breakfast on the table there. Sebastian just arrived to eat, as you noticed.
Yeah.
I will have to take my leave, but Anone and Sebastian will be here with you. The servants will be around, and I will be back later today.
Yeah. And also, I would like to collect my things, please.
Oh, yes, we can do that now. So he goes, he takes you back, and he basically grabs all your stuff and gives it back to you. And once you have it, he bows his head. Farewell. It is good to see you alive. And I will see the rest of you in a few hours. And then he kind of leaves. And Nonne turns and says, well, why don't you all have a seat? You look tired. And then around the table, you can see some wine, some juice, some various fruits, some vegetables, and bread and cheese.
This has been my first good meal in a little while.
Yes, troubling will do that for you. How long has it been since you've had a good night's sleep?
Probably about a week.
I would say since we saw you last.
Wow. Well.
Oh yes, it's been more than a week given the time jump stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you're confused of the time, it is Freak of the 20th today. So yeah, so she eats, and Sebastian kind of eats, kind of glances at Cyclonin every once in a while, and the time kind of passes.
Did we ever go collect our final payment for finally ridding the abandoned watchtower of its creepy crawlies?
Actually, I don't remember.
Just as we were eating. You know, just happens to think about it as he's eating.
I feel like that's something we would have done before we went on a major mission.
Yes, but you know, not being able to recall an accurate memory of actually doing so, we might have left in the morning and had to go collect in the afternoon and missed it.
I probably have that information. Give me a moment while I look through it here.
Yeah, Judge just absently says that, and it's like, cause you know, maybe we can go collect a little extra cash. We're in town. There's no reason why we cannot be doing some shopping and have a good night's rest before we get on our way. To where we will have to discuss.
This is true. An adventurer's life is never dull.
Because I think it would be an excellent idea, perhaps, to take the way we came and go back and
Yeah,
take a
session
closer look.
29. Session 29, Darcy insisted we go to the Halicus to get paid. And then,
Did we
yeah,
actually
went...
do that and collect?
Yep. At the Halicus, Darcy was prodded into reporting that we'd completed our mission. The man at the desk informed us that a scout has been dispatched to check the ruins. If the scout reports the watchtower is indeed clear, we will be paid. We're told to come back at 3 o'clock. Let me go ahead
Yeah, but
and...
didn't we leave before that?
I don't think so. I think you guys got paid.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to check.
Yep, fair enough. All right, so after your meal, Nonne retires, letting everybody know that the servants are available if you need anything. So it's currently 7 in the morning. So what are you guys gonna do? And you guys can retire to. You guys have a room since you're sleeping here, so you can retire to your room if you want to have a discussion about like where to go or whatever.
All right. Okay, here it is in the notes. We eventually left Sebastian behind and headed into the Halicus of Athena. At the Halicus, they confirmed that the mission appears to have been completed, so they paid us 500 Mithna each.
Okay. Well, then we
Yeah,
can all
because I
have
thought
some-
we spent money before we left.
Well, we should all have some decent change in our pockets yet to do any shopping that we want to do. Would we like to be discussing our exact plan of action after tonight's respite?
Yes, we do have some new information. It is quite interesting that that ruined town seems to be of much greater significance than we initially thought. I'm
Yeah.
certainly glad we didn't spend time exploring it.
Yeah, and there was something odd. When I was looking through Gavel's eyes, I couldn't tell, but there was movement in the mist. It gave me a creepy vibe, if you catch my meaning.
Oh, wonderful. More mysteries to unsolve, more monsters to murder.
I do not
Probably
mind
ones that have
murdering
a
of
tenuous
monsters.
connection to life.
Again, I am not minding this at all. It sounds wonderful to me. Be a good stretch and a workout, but I would rather not do that at the same time as competing against a rival pantheon.
They're putting a lot of energy in trying to call us out.
Yes, but I thought maybe it would be more comical and interesting to make them wait just a little longer. I mean, perhaps we could go view that tower a little better and, maybe partake of some of the musical arts.
I do not negotiate with terrorists. If they want to find me, they will have to do it themselves.
Yes, well, what I meant was to go get the musical instrument at the tower.
I'd rather do anything besides meet any of their demands, even grocery shopping.
Mr. Gizzard,
Yeah.
what thoughts might you have on this? We have been given the terrorist ultimatum of going to meet them or be ambushed at some point, or we are to be going to pick up Darcy's musical instrument of interest. And I am under the impression that very shortly close by there could be a crossbow of some import.
I vote treasure. Treasure.
Let me have it.
Artifact. Loot.
Shinies for the win. Terrorists can suck an egg. We do what we want.
Exactly. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shinies over terrorists, I suppose.
All right. Sounds very good to me.
As it should.
I love how Sebastian's just casually there hearing our plans.
Is he, or did we go into the room without him?
You guys have your own room, so initially I just assumed that you guys went off on your own to discuss your
And we
plans.
could be.
We usually do
talking
the stuff
Celestial.
in Celestial.
Yeah. We talk in Celestial that way, even if Sebastian's listening, because he's still Darcy's little puppy. He wouldn't understand what we're saying.
It's fine. It's fine. The Pomeranian doesn't have to know what's going on.
So yeah, I just assumed you guys went into your room. Sebastian went, ate and then went back to his room, and then
Wait a minute. That stinker has my stuff.
Oh yeah, you might want to get some of it from. I collected mine the last time we came through to get.
Well, the stuff I had was stuff that I didn't want to lose in case I died or something. So since I guess that was the vote of we're going to get the shinies first and deal with the jerks later. She's going to now go try to find Sebastian in his room because, hey, I have shinies that you need to give back.
yeah, he said you do find him in his room, and as you arrive, he's like, "Oh hi, come on in."
Yes, hello. How have you been?
Well, just here, doing some training and stuff. My father keeps asking me to come home. I didn't go last time. But yeah, I definitely need to go this time, at least for a little while. But that's about it.
I believe I have left some of my possession with you.
He goes and opens up a drawer, and you see your stuff in it. Yeah, it's all here.
Thank you. It's basically all her fancy jewelry she didn't want to lose in case she died or something bad happened.
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes sense to me.
You don't bring your fancy ring and earrings whenever you're going to the center of the earth.
Yep, that makes total sense.
She's going to then kind of look at him and ask, so what does your father want? Is it just trying to get back to your studies, or is there some family issue?
Well, there's definitely some of the studies thing, but also, I'm supposed to meet somebody. I forget what his name is, but apparently he came from the mainland last time a ship came in, so, a couple of months ago. But apparently he's important in the polis, in Mathena proper, and he's supposed to talk to me because apparently I'll have to serve there for a while once I'm old enough.
So he is your mentor?
Sort of. I haven't really talked to him. Like I said, he just showed up a couple of months ago, and I guess he's been busy with other things. But my father says he knows how things work in a proper city, and because apparently the polis is much bigger than Katniss, and so I have to learn, how the city works, I guess.
And how do you feel about this?
I don't know if I want to leave the islands. I've been here all my life. But if I do go, learning something about what I'm getting into does make sense. Although I guess one good thing, apparently the bread is much better there.
Is that all you think of?
No, but there's only a few silver linings, and that happens to be one of them. So what are you going to be doing? I guess you've been traveling a lot, and you did some stuff where you thought your friend was dead, and so that must have been hard. So what have you been doing, and what's next?
We have more ruins to look through, more artifacts to find, more missions from the gods, if you might think.
Oh, I see. You got to do all that important stuff. Get rid of the menaces that plague the world and all that.
Yes, the hero's work is never done. It is never dull, and it is quite dangerous. So, as much as I'd love to take you with me, I suppose it wouldn't be the safest venture.
And there is definitely a menace that has been dispatched.
Yeah. Unless you suddenly show up.
He just shows up, just barges right in. He's like, "Here's my comical cue."
Well, I had to scare it. Then close the door and go.
Alrighty. Anyways, yeah, it's like, oh, okay. I heard about that town, so I guess that means you're going to the desert?
Yes, we actually passed through there.
Oh,
On the way
really?
back.
Wow, that must have been a long trip going all the way around the mountains. Did you go through Rios?
I don't know about all that. We did not walk. We flew.
What do you... Really?
Giant beast. You rode on its back and flew.
Well, that must be nice.
The disappoint. The
Why even
disappointment that he
walking all
missed,
along if you could have been flying?
Well, we can't always count on said giant beast. That takes a lot of energy and magic, and you can't just abuse that power. It tires you out.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Would you like to fly one day?
Oh, no. I don't want anything to do with the flying beast.
No. Would you like to fly? I could turn you into something that can fly.
He looks pale. Like, no, I'm good, thank you. I'll stay human.
You're so afraid. What is wrong? What happened to that adventurous spirit?
Well, I don't want to be a bird.
You wouldn't be a bird forever.
No, it's okay.
You're no fun.
Yeah, my friend said that too. And look where that happened.
Yes, but your friends weren't as knowledgeable of what they were getting into.
Yeah, but neither am I. Maybe later. Maybe another time.
Suit yourself. Oh, perhaps you would like this instead. No magic required. She's gonna show him some of the little nifty crystals that came from the tower.
Okay, yeah, he looks at those like, oh, these look kind of cool. They're not as shiny and clear as like the jewelry, but they still look kind of interesting. Where did you get
These came from the tower we visited. This is just where we came from.
Oh,
Here, have some.
thank you. He takes them and he looks at them with interest.
They don't have much value at the market, but they're a curiosity.
I guess if you had the skills, maybe you could do something with them. But I guess they're easy to break too, so that would be kind of hard.
If nothing else, they can be a paperweight for all those scrolls you'll be going over.
I suppose. And I suppose the candlelight does interesting things when you put them together.
Sure.
Meanwhile,
I don't know when we'll... Oh, yeah. She's basically gonna be like, I don't know when we're gonna be around to see you again after we drop you off, but maybe in a few days or weeks.
okay, yeah, maybe. But yeah, go to Katniss for a while, and then maybe I can go with you guys again and see more of the world.
Sure, if you're not afraid to fly.
He looks at you with a pale face. Meanwhile,
So-
Cyclonin and Judge, you've kind of been in the room. Oh, and Gizzard, you've been in that room by yourselves. So while Darcy went off to talk to Sebastian, so what are you guys doing?
Well, I do know that when we first met up with my brother again, he spoke of a few things that he might like to pick up here. Perhaps now that we're here, we can spend the day doing shopping and supplying. Is there anything you would be interested in, Mr. Gizzard?
Snake food, I think.
Go gather some rats.
Exactly.
These are gonna have to be like giant rats.
Yeah, they'd have to be pretty big. More like goats. I need some goats. Can we go buy some goats?
Some
Oh my
capybara?
goodness. Capybara.
Some capybara, yes. A couple of capybara.
As long as you're okay
the
with
first
watching them be
quest you
suffocated.
normally get in an RPG is to go kill giant rats. So that's what your snake has to do.
He has to level up.
Exactly.
Oh, your Pokemon! You gotta level up your Pokemon.
Exactly.
You have an Ekans.
Ah, there it is.
I'm gonna go level up my Ekin by getting some goats.
Is he big enough for goats?
Yeah.
All right.
He's 30
He's
feet.
huge.
He can eat a medium-sized creature.
30 feet? God, when did that happen?
Yeah, that's.
He
I've
bought him
been
that
wondering
big.
how he's been lugging him around this whole time.
With a great deal of waving of hands.
Exactly. I'm like, unless he's just wearing his snake as like a living coat, and it just wraps around him.
That would still be
That's
a
a
bit
good
heavy.
idea.
But yeah, you cast Enlarge Reduce on this thing, and it's as big as Cyclone Snake.
God damn.
Mhm.
But yeah, due to the way the pets and stuff work, we just kind of hand wave it, and that he's not a familiar because that's a special thing, so he can't actually do damage and that kind of thing. All right, so
Yeah.
you guys want to go shopping?
That does sound like a good plan.
Yes.
Anyone going to tell Darcy you're going shopping? She can
Yeah, I was
grab
gonna
everything and then decide to buy everything at the store.
Yeah, there's a light
I don't
knock on
care if I
Sebastian's
have two of these. I want it in this color.
And there's a slight knock on Sebastian's door. Judge sticks his head in. The rest of us are thinking about supplying and hitting the market if you are interested.
Oh, yes. I don't know if I need anything particular just yet, but there might be something interesting. Sebastian, would you like to go out? Or are you retiring?
No, I'll go. I'll follow.
Good. Somebody else to carry your bags as I
Right? I bring him along just because he can carry my stuff. It was the plan all along.
All too clever.
All right. So we'll
Judge
assume
kinda
that
checks-
Sebastian's with you guys, so you guys can go ahead and move to wherever you want to go.
As we get outside, Judge looks at the time again and tries to figure out how quickly good old conglomerate shall be back with us.
He will probably arrive at night while we sleep.
All right.
So we can stay in town for the day. Perhaps we could leave tomorrow.
That was the idea. We could get a good rest tonight in Sebastian's uncle's house.
Free room and board.
All right. So you guys can go ahead and move your token. I'm just gonna hide Sebastian. I'm gonna assume he's with you guys.
If nothing else, following Darcy.
Mhm.
So where do you go?
Well, there's a main place up this way.
So
This seems like
it's
a good
raining pretty
candidate.
heavily right now, but people are still shopping.
Oh, how's my
Sebastian.
little umbrella holding up?
Actually, it was fine at first. Then the really heavy rain came down, and you see an umbrella where it's just the flaps just aren't working, or just like there's a hole. Now there's a hole, and you're getting wet.
Sad face.
I'm just
Yeah,
holding my
toss
shield over
aside.
my head.
The
You know what? We're in the market. Buy an umbrella.
all right. So you look around for somebody who sells something like an umbrella. All right. We'll go ahead and do a silver midnight.
Yay. Is it like a big one or is it like an individual one?
It's an individual.
You don't have big ones?
A big one would be a regular midnight.
I can afford it. I want a big one.
All right. You get a big umbrella for you and Steph.
Yes. My stuff shall not get wet.
Sebastian, where is a good place around this town to commission the making of precious items? Think jewelry, for instance.
Oh, well, I know someone over here, and he takes you over to this almost circus-looking tent. And inside, it's nice and dry, fairly large tent, and you see someone with a monocle and some sort of magnifying lens. And you see all sorts of gems and crystals behind him. He looks up as you approach. Yes.
Good morning. I was interested in commissioning an item, perhaps two.
All right then. You have the details.
For the item that I have in mind, it is actually I'd like to make a pair of precious coins, and I wish to have a unique image on the one face of each coin, and then a different image on the back. And I'll go ahead. As a player, I don't actually have this stuff in mind, but so I'm just saying, as a character, Cyclonin describes what he wants.
Okay, fair enough. So how much do the coins have to be worth?
25 Mithna.
Okay. So he adds a little charge on top, so he actually charges you 28.
All right.
This will take a little bit of time. It will be done on Frika 22nd.
Thank you.
How many
And
days?
that's 2 days away. Do you also make larger items, things like crowns, for instance?
I can.
Okay. When the coins are ready, we can discuss that. I have an idea for such an item, but I need to figure out more of the specifics before I am prepared to try to commission it.
Very well. Just return when you're ready.
I tip my hat to you and go on my way.
All right.
Thank you, Sebastian. That was most helpful.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, he's not the only one in town, but he's definitely the best one I've seen. All right, so once you leave the tent, what's next?
What are Judge and Darcy doing? Poor Gizzard. Yeah, Gizzard's got to buy his capybara or whatever.
Yeah, let's see how he gets that livestock with his big old snake.
Yeah.
I
I'm
do apologize for butting in on this, but are you sure you need those coins? To sort of.
I am certain I want the coins.
Okay.
Is there a
Sorry.
problem with that spectacular expenditure?
No, I just thought that flipping of coins perhaps guidance was clear.
By the time Judge completes his sentence, he's on the other side of town, calling from
Right.
the West Gate.
Hilarious.
You were fading to the point where I couldn't hear you at
Oh,
all.
sorry.
As it got near the end of the sentence.
Sorry, game mechanics. I didn't know you could cast it as a druid.
Okay.
Cast what?
it augury for your
I believe it is.
helping before you make a purchase.
Yep, and it's right there on the druid spell list.
Okay.
It's an optional. There's a Tasha's optional class thingy, so that's probably where the confusion is coming from.
Nope, that's fine, because I just looked it up. I guess he was talking about it just to see. And yeah, it said cleric stuff. It's like, yes. Okay, that's fine. Sorry.
No problem. All right then. So once you finish with the tent, what's next?
So, are there like farmers and stuff outside the town?
There are.
There are vineyards, so technically, yes.
There
Do I think
are,
I
and then
could
there's
do
also
it
the
like-
farmers market in town.
Okay, I'll go to the farmers market.
That
and
sounds
see if
familiar.
I can find anyone selling livestock.
I think you've actually purchased a creature for your snake before.
I think I have. So we're gonna do it again.
Yeah,
All right. So
it's been a few weeks.
yeah, so you pass through the farmers market on your way into town. So you can just go on over there if you want. Is everybody else going?
Yeah, I'm
might as
interested
well.
to see what he gets. And also, I don't know if Sebastian has ever seen the giant snake before.
I
yeah.
think he has, yeah. He doesn't stand anywhere near it. Wherever the snake is in the group, wherever Gizzard is, he's on the opposite side.
You know, like my
Dang.
snake.
Danger Noodle.
Mhm.
All right,
Okay.
so go
To the
ahead and
farmer's
move
market.
yourselves over to the farmer's market then. Unless you have, want to get stuff, other stuff in the this part of the Agora while you're still here.
Well, like what's the sell? What's what they selling? What they
Well, as you go through, I mean,
Is
they're
this the
selling
farm?
clothing, they sell
Not yet.
pottery, they sell jewelry, utensils, normal. It's just like stuff you normally find, normal basic stuff.
No, they're not interesting enough. I want a funky tent with cool stuff or nothing.
Fair enough.
Where's
To
the
market.
mystic shop?
All right, so you make your way over to the farmer's market. You can even find the place where you got the snake to begin with. So what in particular are you looking for?
A goat.
Okay, so you find someone
One
selling
goat.
goats, and the goats, as you approach, it's like, yes, we have our small goats here, all the way up to our large, this one over here really should be, we should really be eating him soon. Anyway, the prices range from 1 mithna to a gold mithna, depending on the size.
I'll take a slightly above small goat.
Medium.
Medium, but like not quite medium. You feel me?
Yeah, so not the smallest, but kind of like a step up. All right, so that'll be
Yeah.
2 mithna.
Okay. Right. Purchased. Give me that goat. I'm gonna feed the goat to my snake. Let's gather around and watch him eat this goat.
Gonna horrify
as you
some
go to
people.
do that, the guys, please,
Oh.
don't do that here. If you really need to do that, go over in the corner there.
Okay.
You're scaring the children.
As you go to feed the goat to the snake, you notice that Sebastian kind of hangs out in the front.
I'll hang back with him.
Yeah, we'll
Alright.
hang out with Sebastian. You don't like to see the
Guys.
dangers of geographic. He doesn't want to see the whole
Meanwhile, you take this
circle of
goat,
life.
and it's like bah, and it makes cute noises at you as you throw it in front of the snake who devours it. Ah!
Well, job well done, Snake. Job well done. All right, there's my horrifying, very depressing segue.
It's your deed of the day. You,
My deed of the day.
you fed your snake.
Don't forget to give your snake scritches.
Yep.
Oh, of course. You know it. You know it.
Even
You
though
know-
he does
he
not
doesn't
have
go to his built to
phobias,
do
he's
okay.
a precious creature.
And
Yeah.
just to be extra mean, the goat was a fluffy white goat. Kind of looked like a cute dog, except goat size. Looked at you with big eyes as you fed it to your snake.
The betrayal.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
All right. So you fed your snake. So what's next?
Good question. What is next, y'all? What's the next step?
Yeah, for the most part today, perhaps we relax. We can consider our plans for the future, although it would be best if Conglomerate were around for that, so that may be a morning conversation tomorrow.
Since we were looking around at some of these places, was there a place that had like incense and herbs and stuff like that?
Yeah, is there a smell goods shop?
Yeah, incense is fairly common. So yeah, you can definitely find some of that.
All right. I needed to buy 20 gold pieces worth of ritual incense and herbs in order to have a couple of castings in case I need to.
Was it the herbs and incense for Find Familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and mark off the Mythna. You definitely find it.
Okay.
You got fancy
20
soap?
Mythna yep. 20 Mythna for 2, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So you're looking for soap.
Fancy soap, not just any soap. I don't want just animal fat.
All right. So the fanciest soap is shockingly expensive. It's a gold.
Who would have
Mythna.
guessed?
It's a gold Mythna for the fanciest soap they have.
That's right. I want to smell like rose water and ivy. I want to smell like animal fat.
Fair enough. Discerning taste you have there.
Only the best.
Alright, so you've purchased some soap, you've purchased some spell ingredients, and you fed a goat to a snake. So that's probably an hour's worth of stuff, actually. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning now, so what's next?
Although, while Judge and Darcy are off at their respective vendors, I'm going to talk to Gizzard here a bit briefly.
Go for it.
So Gizzard, I've been thinking about the plight of the Skedi. I still want to do something to help them. And I was wondering if you have any ideas as far as things that we could do to help them move into the mainland from the underground.
Honestly, I have no idea at this moment. If you tell me your ideas, I can give you my feedback on them, but I do not have any unique ones of my own.
Well, I am thinking that it is, I mean, they live in the caves. They may be very sensitive to sunlight. I was thinking of something of a colony. Imagine if we were to either find a suitable cave network, or perhaps as we regain power, I might be able to fashion a cave network. We could collect some of their mushrooms. I could cast wild growth to enrich the mushrooms so that they grow better. Basically give them a taste of home, something comfortable and familiar for them as they attempt to adjust to life more above ground. So we may want to keep an eye out for places like that.
Yeah. Places like that.
And you
Yeah,
are
I'm
having
not
this
sure where
conversation
something like that
without
would
Judge
be.
and Darcy present?
Yeah, this is just with Gizzard while you guys are shopping.
Yeah.
It is- yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
do
where that
not
would be at
expect
this
this. Yeah, I do not expect
No.
it to have any immediate solutions, but it would probably be good to keep an eye out for such things during the course of our adventures. I was thinking
Yeah.
that you might also want to make sure it is something that is relatively sheltered from the humans of these lands, so that if there is any potential conflict, they are a little more protected. We do not want to bring these people above ground only to get slaughtered by fearful people.
Agreed.
And on a side note, I wish to express my gratitude that you are so willing to risk your life to try to help those people and gain access to that artifact.
Yeah.
I know it was a risky thing to do, and it is much appreciated that. I commend you for your bravery.
Thank you. About time. Just kidding. Not about time. I'm not saying you haven't done that before. But yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, when Conglomerate returns, we can revisit this conversation.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll have something more interesting to say than I do.
Do not sell yourself short, Gizzard. You may be a few words, but the words you speak, especially with the power of magic behind them, can make quite the difference.
That's fair.
Your
That
haste
is
spell, for instance, is quite the popular ability.
true.
I am so curious to see what else you have in store. So, how are your warlock pursuits going?
Well, I am into the whole ordeal, so there's not much to say as of right now, but soon in time. Eldritch Blast is pretty interesting.
You've seen that spell utilized to great effect many times, and none wield it more skillfully than warlocks.
Exactly.
Rude.
Let us go find Judge and Darcy, see what fancy items they have found.
Sounds good. I'm curious as well.
Alright, so it's 8 o'clock. You guys have kind of grouped up together again. You've been out and about for about an hour. So what do you do next? It is raining heavily.
Well, most of this is a hurry up and wait sort of situation. I suppose we can relax for the day.
Sebastian, do you know of any curiosity shop? Anything that isn't selling just your average wants and needs?
Yeah, thinks for a bit. He says, well, there was this hermit that used to come into town every once in a while, and he would always have something. But I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor is that he lives on the other island, in the northern part of the other island. But I
Interesting.
can't think of anything you would find now.
Where does he normally have his tent set up? I mean, perhaps he
Yeah.
is
He would
here.
have it in the agora. You would be able to tell because his tent was always very colorful. You know, it wasn't a single color. It was a whole bunch.
Well, there are 2 Agoras. Perhaps we can check both of them and see if he is here.
Yeah, so at the very least, leave when he last was. Maybe he just moved.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think he stays on the other island, at least that's what they say, south of Lake Boris. But it's probably harder to make it across. Maybe that's what it is, because of the bad weather. With the seas, I'm sure you've heard about it, with the ships crashing and everything. So maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, it was interesting when he would show up, because he would always have something new, and there was always something about him that was always so mysterious. You know what? He actually reminded me a lot of you guys.
No, what kind of items did he have? Did you ever go in his tent?
Oh, he did. He had all sorts of things. He had like skulls that if you stick glass in the eyes, they would light up. I don't know what kind of trick he used for that. He had like scents that would make you see different colors. He had these little tablets that if you sucked on it for a bit, it would make it so that you could smell everything so much more clearer, like a dog. Or at least I think the dogs can smell good. But anyway, you can smell a lot better. It's weird stuff like that.
I think Darcy's soaps are more capable of making someone smell better.
No, I don't mean smell better. I mean they could smell more. They could smell more keenly.
Yes, I understand. But I felt I had missed an opportunity to make a terrible joke earlier, and I had to rectify that.
Oh, okay.
Like a terrible uncle.
If you're ever on the other island, on the northern part, if you find a lake, it's he's in the hills, south. I think southwest maybe. There's a bunch of rivers that meet, and he's kind of close to them. I think. At least that's what the rumors say.
Okay, interesting.
All right, so
What is his name?
thanks for a bit. I don't actually know. Everybody just called him the Hermit. For some reason, he didn't live in town. He didn't feel comfortable living in town for some reason.
Perhaps we shall give him a visit.
Yeah, if you want curiosities, you probably want to visit him at some point. Although it might be kind of hard to get there.
I am certain we can find ways to get over there. Out of curiosity, how many people did you tell about the death? Referring to the rest of the group.
Only Sebastian and his aunt and uncle. But that is what we believed. We thought you were dead.
I was just verifying that I did not need to go on a whole tour of the town, explaining to people that the rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated.
There was no reason to talk to anyone else. We were in mourning. Again, something you should have told us about.
I was pretty certain that you knew I was not present.
What? Are you trying to misdirect again? No. You should have told us before appearing to die that you might appear to die, so that we would not think you had died and feel horrible bad and be in mourning over it. You understand this social faux pas?
I did not expect that to happen. The outcome of that whole incident was something of a surprise. Although, in the balance, I would say that it is an improvement overall. I certainly feel more comfortable now with myself than before.
Which is a good thing, and we are hoping that you are much less filled with the angst. I am very glad for you seeming much more chipper.
Well, that is a matter of perspective, I suppose.
I do like the new forms of transportation you can provide.
I do apologize again for the bumpy start there, but it was quite liberating being able to take to the skies like that.
It was a very wonderful experience, yes. I very much enjoyed the view.
And we've learned many things about this island already. I do wonder how Sebastian is going to cope with that.
Sebastian is with you guys, so you're talking in Celestial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I do have one more thing I wish to go purchase. You guys stay here, have lunch. I'll be right back. I want to run get something real quickly.
Well, if we're having lunch, then I know where I want to go. I could use a drink.
When can't you?
It is
Judge
difficult
will-
when I am dead.
Judge will hand the group 4 half Mithnas and say, "Hey, lunch is on me. I'll be right back. I'll catch up with you guys."
Hell, you heard the man. Lunch is on here. And I head to the tavern before the crowd takes over.
Sure.
Yes, get our usual seat. I'll be right there.
Gotta watch out for that lunch crowd.
Right?
Why is this not working?
Besides, I'm still in the mood for breakfast booze.
Oh, there it is.
Didn't you already have your breakfast booze?
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
go
I've had
back
my-
specifically, so the first thing you got in your inventory was another keg of mead from the Temple of Deal.
I mean, I have had breakfast booze, but I have not had second breakfast booze.
Ah, of course. You, like I said, you
Brunch
go enjoy.
booze.
I'll catch up. Yep,
All right, so
you go
what
enjoy.
you
I'll
doing,
catch up. I
Judge?
go grab. I'm going to run to the. Wait a second. Before I go, I said, "Can I borrow this?" And I just grabbed Sebastian by the shoulders. Like, come on.
Okay, he goes with you.
As
where are we going?
you're going to take me to the finest weapon shop.
Okay, and he takes you
Yeah,
off to,
not plain old thumpy weapons. I mean, I'm talking about good quality, lightweight. A fine weapon.
Yeah, he takes you to Vulcan's Hall. You've been there before. He's the guy who thinks he's the demigod. Anyway.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
right. Him. Okay. Was his stuff high quality, or
Yeah.
was his stuff mediocre quality with
no,
a personality?
he was definitely skilled. You got the impression that you've seen people who are they're kind of like either an idiot savant or they're so far a genius that they're just weird to everybody else. He's in one of those
Okay.
categories.
Okay, but he did have good quality
Yes.
stuff. Okay, good. All right. Yes. Please lead me to that place again.
So he takes you in there, and you can see him standing there hammering away. And as he walks over, it's like, "Oh, you've returned. What can I do for you?"
I have returned, and just kind of, Sebastian, why don't you go keep check by the door if we are to be interrupted, make a noise, yes?
He goes, like, "Is there nobody around?"
Alright. So it's just me and this guy and Sebastian in the shop, nobody
Yeah.
else here? Okay, cool. I kind of lean in and quietly, remembering him, I kind of lean in and quietly say, the work of a powerful one is never finished. I have need of some expert services of your caliber.
Yes.
Small, yet still 100% effective lightweight throwing darts. 10 of them. The sharpest you can make.
Okay. So,
And I believe I have something here that I believe you and I both know how to appreciate. I kind of look back and check to see if Sebastian, pretending that, I don't want Sebastian to know, but I really don't care. And I pull out one tiny glowing gem.
okay. What gem
Of
is
actual magic. Oh, for game mechanics, this is one of the experimental gems. It just glows. It doesn't do anything
okay.
else.
this? He looks at it. Ah.
But he's gonna think it's a godly power item.
He looks at it. He's like, you've you know something of the secrets of the gods. He looks at you keenly.
I believe the last
Perhaps-
time we talked,
Perhaps you are a champion.
I believe the last time you and I have spoken, which was quite a while ago. If you don't remember, I am not always the most memorable of peoples, but the last time we had talked, we had established that we both were a higher caliber of peoples. Yes.
Oh yes, I remember you now. Ah, yes. I can definitely see the power of your object.
Well, I believe this would be more of enough power for the implements which I ask. And if possible, can they be small, maybe perhaps a small leather strap where they can all fit in very, very compactly, easy to carry, lightweight, high quality, balanced. You understand. Silvered if possible.
Okay, so he
For
nods.
there are certain creatures, and he's like, yeah, there are certain creatures that are only susceptible to the silvering, yeah.
Of course. So just to be clear, you're asking for silvered throwing daggers or something like that?
Yes, 10 silvered throwing darts.
Okay,
Small, lightweight, compact, easy to carry.
fair enough. So he says, well, your object is indeed powerful, but I am in the need of supplies.
Of course.
And something like that would be difficult to sell.
Ab-
So I will give you a
absolutely.
discount. So instead of
Absolutely.
charging you 20 mithna for your, sorry, I take that back. So instead of charging you 40 mithna for your silvered throwing daggers, I instead will cut that in half and charge you 20 if you throw in the gem.
Well, of course, the gem was not for you to sell. I figured you would use the godly energies to empower yourself.
Of course. I don't have any silvered weapons here. I can certainly start the work. It won't take too long.
Excellent.
If you're willing to wait until the 22nd, I can have them ready for you.
I believe we will be back here on the 22nd. We have other things to pick up at that exact time. That would be perfect.
All right then. So 20 mithna and it's a deal.
Okay. 20 full mithna for these
Yeah.
10 daggers, right? All right. Okay.
All right. So you exchange,
Okay.
and he says, "I will keep your secret, as I am sure you will keep mine."
I will keep. Yes. I believe this was an arrangement we had last time.
Of course.
Too, yes. It was good seeing you again.
Of course.
Great.
He flexes his muscles and then he continues to hammer.
Yes. Master of the forge. And I take my leave.
All right.
And gave that man a glow stick. Told him it gave him powers.
He thinks it's the most wonderful thing in the world. Come on, he's not going to sell it. He's going to keep it forever. It's godly power. If he really is got that mental issue, he's going to truly believe and be very happy. I just made this man very happy.
Well, if
He's
nothing
just a
else,
little more
this will
special.
now be his proof of his godly power.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like I said, he's like, I can't sell that. Well, of course, you're not going to sell it. You're going to keep it for you.
All right. So everybody else, you went into the servants' tube.
What was that
correct?
guy's name again?
Mm.
What was the guy's name again? I'm sorry.
Vulcan, not Vulcan. Vulcan,
Vulcan.
with the O.
Volken.
Yeah, let me double check. Volkan.
Okay, and I hope I made a better impression that he remembers me next time. But okay, got it right now. Thank you.
All right then. So yeah, everybody else shows up into the Serpent's Tooth, and you can see a crowd's already starting to form. And you recognize the person behind the counter, the same one. He seems to be here every time. He looks up and says, I remember you. You usually sit in the back. He kind of points over toward the kind of back area. Says, let's see. You're here for breakfast, and you want a drink. Gotcha. So that'll be half an each.
Give him what we were given.
All right. So he kind of shuffles you all into the other room, and shortly the waitress shows up with fruits and bread, cheese, and some chicken meat, and of course wine for everybody. So as you kind of get settled in and start to eat, what do you guys do?
Judge seems to keep bringing up my fate at the Skedi Cave. How has he reacted to this whole thing?
You supposedly dying? He was very upset. Remember, he had a whole memorial for you with that sign. And the others tried, so it was very impromptu at the sight of your supposed demise.
Well, I may have to take a look at that for myself.
Oh, I doubt it survived that long. It was literally a bunch of rocks stacked up and some items put on top.
And if I remember correctly, some of it got knocked over anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it got knocked over, so yeah, good luck. You find rubble with some random junk in it. In memory of our friend.
It is the thought that counts, I suppose. But I wondered because it seems that even though I'm clearly still around, it seems that it has had a lasting effect on him. I'm not certain what to make of that, especially since while
Mortality
I could say that
for
he knows,
immortals. I'm sure it is quite the concept.
but it is an odd challenge. I mean, I'm having trouble finding the words, but while Judge knows me the most, I know him the least. I mean, you, Gizzard, Conglomerate, Tavros, we have spent centuries together, adventuring, acting as a pantheon, and now this. Judge, I only knew for a very short period of time before he was sacrificed to stop the machinations of a god.
And yet he is the only one that you really know. sorry, to that wrong. You are the only one for him. Basically, it's like, yeah, you might know us, but you were like his only friend, so you were important.
Yeah.
He calls you brother. Is that not a clue enough? You're very important to him.
Well, and in a manner of speaking, there is some truth to that statement. After all, while like myself and him, our patrons were a Fellover and a half-giant respectively, my patron's family had adopted him, or his patron. So they did actually, in fact, grow up as brothers, despite their very obvious physical differences. And in their thirst for power, they both at the same time created these spare bodies in case some of their ambitions went wrong. So, and that would be Judge and myself. It turns out he was the one who was expended and I was not. But we were essentially born from brothers, so in a way we sort of are. But we have not really had much of an opportunity to bond in much the way that the family typically does.
Still, what he did experience with you, he apparently holds very dear. And you cannot deny that. I myself do not have such connections to any particular others. Siblings was not something I had in my mortal life, nor in my divine.
I'd be glad you did not grow up with a family as large as conglomerates.
A colony of consciousness sounds like a very loud dinner table to be at.
Yes, I guess I am feeling rather conflicted about this.
Have you decided to perhaps speak to him directly?
You're muted or
Oh,
something.
sorry. As you talk about that, Judge arrives.
Well, perhaps, but it will not be at this time.
Of course not. It would be very awkward.
Judge comes in with Sebastian. Yes, how's everybody here? He just kind of waves over to the bartender for, an order.
And he says, well, that'll be half enough for each of you.
All right. Judge will pay it.
All right.
Two
And
more half
Sebastian
Mithna.
pays
Oh, wait a
it.
second. I gave you guys... Wait a second. I gave you guys 4 half Mithna.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Cyclonin, Darcy, Gizzard.
You'd still have to pay one extra if you wanted to pay for
Technically, Tavros.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so there's Tavros. All right, so I do pay 1 for me, and you said Sebastian's covering his own?
Yeah.
All right, 1 more for me.
You rich
All
boy.
Okay.
So how was your shopping expedition, Judge?
Oh, very, very, very productive. I had quite nearly forgotten about Volkine. I remembered him, when the last time we were here asking about weapons and armor and stuff, and we ran into that one blacksmith who he was very good at his job, but he kept thinking that he was a godling. Whisper real quiet. A godling, but he's really not. I had a fun chat with him.
What are you going to do if it turns out that he is in fact one, and is just really that good at deception?
The last time I remember us meeting him, we tried to sense any other celestials beings like ourselves, and he did not show up as one.
Who are we to deny
Nevertheless.
his delusion if it makes him
Yes.
happier?
Exactly my point. That is exactly what I was saying. Is I do not deny his delusion. He is excellent working for what we would hire him for, and we can go ahead and say yes. You are a demigod godling. Yes, it's fun. He is happy for it, and we have a level of discretion we would not normally have, depending on the dealings we have to do. And even if he is not godling, he is very big and strong, and is probably more powerful than most of the city guard around here. So, yes, there is always that.
A man among men. Little
Oh, so-
confused, but still useful.
Oh, Sebastian, I almost forgot. I go ahead and hold up the pieces of my shattered glaive. Do you happen to know a good woodworker? I need to do a little bit of mending.
Yeah, in the Agora, you can definitely find somebody who can do that. I can take you after we eat.
That would be excellent. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, I think after this meal and after my next errand, I think I wish to just relax for the day and do nothing.
I think we are all a bit spent and could get some recuperation, yes.
Spa treatment.
Judge hates that idea.
Well, he can leave if he wants to. I have a fancy soap I'm going to use.
All right then. So yeah, you finish your meal, and so once you're done, where are you going to go to next?
I'm going to go to the Agora and see about going to a woodworker for my little mini project.
Okay. So as you arrive, he shows you to the tent, and as you arrive, you see a fit woman inside with braided hair. She looks your way and says, "Oh yes, sir. We can. As you see, we have some items you can purchase: some furniture, some basic wood supplies, carpentry equipment. We can also do repairs and custom jobs as well. So, what do you need?"
Well, I have a kind of unusual project here. So now this is not a traditional repair, but I've got these, and I go ahead and hold up the shattered glaive.
Okay, she looks.
And I'm not really looking to prepare this in a truly proper fashion. What I would like is a wooden collar of some sort that I can press these into. Something that is durable enough that it'll hold up under most, casual bumps. But, if one, wishes to, they could break it apart fairly easily. I wish to have 2 of these collars commissioned.
She thinks about it for a moment. She asks to see the glaive up close so she can kind of examine the connection and everything.
Yep, I hand the 2 pieces over.
As you hand it over, you notice that she moves it around. She doesn't seem to have any trouble manipulating it. You get the impression she could probably have used the full glaive without any real issues. And as she hands the pieces back to you, and she says, "Yeah, I could probably do that without too much issue." You said you want 2 of the colors?
Yes.
So I'd probably charge you a mithna per collar. It would take me a couple of days. I got other orders and work to do. So if you come back on the 22nd, I can have it ready for you. If you pay me 1 mithna in advance and the other mithna when you come and pick up your wares.
How about I just pay both of the mithna now? That way I do not have to worry about it later.
That will do. Thank you. So she takes your money, and once she does, she goes and she gets some string, and she kind of more carefully measures things, and she makes some notes. and then hands you back your weapon. She says, "All right then, it'll be ready by the 22nd."
Thank you. I tip my hat to you.
She nods.
All right. Well, I think I have everything out of the way now for myself. I think I am going to relax. The rest of you wish to do anything, so be it. But I think I will go back to Barrius's home and take a nap.
Fair enough. So I'll just go ahead and move your thing for you here. We'll say that you arrive back. And by the time you get back, Barrius has returned. Onone is hanging out in the courtyard, kind of relaxing, and Sebastian goes basically to his room once you arrive back. So, do we want to pass forward the time, or is there something else you want to do?
I want to go to the spa.
Yeah. Actually, the spa sounds nice. I couldn't think of anything else to do. Just relax for today.
Yep. So, Barrius, they do have baths, high-quality baths on the premises. So, you just basically have the servants help you out. They'll bring you towels. They have the proper gendered servants, so they can go in and help you clean or whatever you need. Everybody is going to gain back any exhaustion they lost through all this process. In fact, I would say if you're going to spend the day relaxing, I'm going to give everybody inspiration so that everybody has a free re-roll if it comes up. We'll say that, it's like just getting back and just spending the day resting and rather than, being busy all the time. So everybody's got that little bit of an advantage.
Nice.
All right. Anything else during the day?
I think nothing for me, at least certainly not till the evening. Oh, actually, I was curious. The spiders in the under the abandoned watchtower, what CR were they?
I don't remember. Hold on. 7.
Oh, yikes.
All right, so evening comes around, and everybody gathers for dinner, and Sebastian's there, Onone, Barrius, everybody's there, and during the meal, Barrius asks, "So you said you can take Sebastian to Katniss. When do you plan on leaving? Do you plan on leaving tomorrow, or are you going to spend a couple of days in town?" Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We hadn't actually discussed that yet.
Yeah. We were
To be
waiting for
determined.
Conglomerate to return. Some of our plans may require his input.
Oh, very good. So during lunch, or sorry, during breakfast tomorrow, you can tell me what you plan on doing.
That sounds like a fine plan. I think we will have our decision by then.
Very well.
Yeah.
So otherwise, there is some small talk during dinner. Anybody want to discuss anything with Barrius or Onone or Sebastian during the meal? If not, then it passes.
All right. Let me see something here real quick.
While he's looking, were you going to say something, Darcy?
I was trying to think of all the stuff that's actually in town besides eat, drink, and bum off of Barrius and the family. That could be done casually.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that you guys had to do in town in particular. I don't think anything's come up that I can think of.
Because we went to the market and we know there's a spa. Oh yeah, isn't there like a what's it's? Aren't they here? Maybe they have a commission we can do while on their way while we're out and about.
What kind of commission?
It's anything. They're our main source of money.
Oh, you mean the
We're already
Howdigans of Mathena?
yeah.
Okay. So during the day, if you went to the Halicus of Mathena, what you learned is that they recently sent another expedition to the Valola's ruins, and they are very much interested, once they find out who you are, that if you could stop by the Valola's ruins and just make sure the expedition made it in time and make sure that everybody's fine. And if you do so, they're willing to pay each person 100 mithna.
That's not bad.
Please make sure our people aren't dead.
Yeah, just all you have to do is show up, check in with the expedition, make sure that there's no issues they're running into that need special attention, if you know what I mean. And assuming everything's fine, come back. If there's something to deal with it, and then come back.
Well, considering all the bug body parts and slaughter that they no doubt found after they went back from us, then yeah, anything is special.
Well,
So
we won't know until we go back.
Is that something you agree to do?
I'd say Darcy would go by while she's out and then bring it up to the others to be like, hey, if we need money, they're asking, and we are going to be traveling a bit, so if it's on the way, we could stop by.
So they suggest that you let them know tomorrow when you get your answer. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and advance to midnight then. And Conglomerate, you suddenly exist, and you
Actually, can we back up a little bit? I guess it depends on when does everybody actually go to sleep?
Judge is going to stay up a little later reading.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and writing in his book, because he's not stopped writing in that journal since, even though you came back, he's not stopped writing in that journal every day since you stepped into the lava.
Okay, so what did you want to do, Cyclonin?
I have an idea for a quick errand. Well, relatively quick.
Okay.
In terms of game terms, it's going to actually be a little bit time consuming for the character.
Okay, so go back to the daytime. What are you doing?
Well, it'll be after everybody's gone to sleep, or I think they're sort of retiring for the night. So it will still be in the evening.
Okay, but before Conglomerate comes back.
Probably, unless everybody else is still wide awake.
Probably not. I mean, everybody's probably pretty tired. All right, so what are you going to do?
After.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and head on outside, and I am going to turn into a giant eagle and go on a quick trip. I'm going to leave my stuff here first.
Caw.
Oops.
Oh.
All right, let me go ahead and pull the observer. Alrighty, so you're turning into a what?
A giant eagle.
Okay. Alright, so you turn into a giant eagle. Where are you going?
I'm going to fly south to the abandoned watchtower. I should be able to get there in about an hour.
Okay, you can go ahead and just move the token.
I'm still seeing
I
Sapezus.
didn't move you over. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and pull the scene.
All right. There. Okay. Guess I can take a more direct route for this.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Actually, let's see. That would have taken an hour.
Sure.
All right. I'll just for good measure loiter for an hour before actually going in to the abandoned watchtower. But yeah, basically change back to my normal form, and I'll go inside.
All right. What are you gonna do there? So I know I've got to switch maps.
Basically, I'm making a beeline for the entryway into the underground area, and I'm gonna try and make a quick stop over at the Sketty village.
Oh, okay. So once you get, okay, so you find your way inside. You're not really able to fly through the normal caves as an eagle, but I guess you get to the giant cave, you can probably fly again if you have another wild shape for that.
That was actually why I decided to rest outside the tower for an hour. I should have 2 wild shapes, and I was thinking something like a giant bat or whatever flying creature is native in there, something that sort of blends in. And I had the idea of following the rivers where the Sketty were taking the boats.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll say it takes you half an hour to get there or something like that. You gotta, fly around stalagmites, stalactites, to avoid the creatures in the ceiling and all that other fun stuff. So eventually you do arrive. So what do you do once you get there?
Okay, once I get there, I'll change back in, and in Abyssal, of course, ask to see the. I already forget the name of that stuff, but let's see.
Let's see, what am I? Watchtower.
The Shentong.
Okay, they take you in there once they wreck it.
Oh, it's time to pull out the Google Doc again.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're not done with that.
Not by a
Okay.
long shot.
So let's go ahead and activate it so everybody can kind of see a reminder. And we'll go ahead and be down there just for the visual, if it ever loads. I guess it is kind of big.
I'll keep an eye out for this memorial while I'm down there.
I mean, what's left of it?
All right.
All right, so yeah, you're led inside, and as he looks up and he looks at you with surprise, and he says, "You yet live somehow."
That is correct. Many people are surprised about that fact, and I realize that must have left you in a very uncomfortable situation. So I felt it was only right to seek you out and let you know that I am not in fact dead, and that I still fully intend to honor my pledge.
He bows his head. He says, "Iman, you are more trustworthy than I might have feared. The Morion is at hand, but it perhaps is for the best. Thank you. The Shenwu, I can sense it strongly within you. Much more strongly than before.
I do feel different now, yes. It will take some time for this to be put into motion, of course, but I did not want you to wait, doubtful of your fate. I do have an idea, and it has occurred to me that, the land above is very different than what the Skedi is used to down here. I have the idea to try to create something of an outpost, something that provides ready access to the surface, but has some of the comforts of home. So I was thinking about either finding or excavating some sort of cave network for the Skedi to live in, and I wanted to ensure that the mushrooms that they have come to rely on for food is available. You wouldn't happen to have spores or small examples of the mushrooms that I could take with me, do you?
We can certainly get that for you. I will speak to someone. It will take them a few minutes to gather, but that won't be a problem.
Yeah, that will give me time to inspect this memorial that I was told was constructed in the wake of my apparent demise.
Yes. The nothing remains of what was once passed down, but it is I suspect what was supposed to happen. He takes you down below, and yeah, you'll see the lava, you'll see the rocks where the artifact was. It's just there's nothing there, and then Brosnan and who else did it? Joel, go ahead. I think you guys did a lot of the memorial stuff, so go ahead and describe what he sees.
Well, we did a lot of the memorial stuff, and then Judge came in and destroyed it. I believe.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I didn't destroy it. I just kind of moved it to the side. I didn't even. I didn't
thought
knock
you said
it down.
I tear
or
it
kick
all
it.
down is a quote, I believe, from that. We can.
No, I
play
did
back
not
the
say I tear it
recording.
all down. That's a misquote.
Okay,
But yeah, it's still
okay.
there.
Anyway, go ahead and describe what it is.
So it was me and Brosnan and Shane. I put down like a stein on top of, I think we put like it was like a little warrior's grave, so we shoved like one of the glaives or halberds that Shane had in the ground, I think, or a sword or something like that. And we put the stein on top. Brosnan, I don't remember what you did.
I don't remember what I did either.
I don't remember what all was left, but I believe it was a old non-magical spear that you had just been carrying around, and a couple of little baubles around the base of it, just kind of leaning up against the rock.
Knickknacks. Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
left him like I left a full stein of mead there. Actually, I do remember that. I believe.
And I believe Tavros left a scroll of logic that he could no longer use.
Yep.
Yes.
The logic scroll, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just not going to learn anything from it.
What did I put?
And then you can see the magic scrapings where Judge sat there and meticulously tried to gather your ashes.
Man,
He
I
now
don't
realizes
remember.
was just the ashes of his equipment.
Yes, which he watched
Hey,
Cyclonin tap out of the
Dio,
cup.
no.
All right, so there you go.
Alrighty. Truly a breathtaking memorial.
And what was Darcy's contribution? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, you walked away.
She said, "Screw
Well-
this, I'm out. This was a waste of my time.
She's
Goodbye."
Like, it's about time. It's
For
over.
you,
Yep.
yeah.
It's like, good riddance.
Yeah, and Judge had no intentions of this being a memorial, but those plans were completely dashed by someone not communicating.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Oh, wait a minute. If I had communicated that I might very well die from this, and then it appeared that I did, would you not have done a memorial?
Well, no, the point is, I may very
mean,
well look like I'm
because-
dying from this, but don't worry, I'll be back. That would have been helpful.
The thing is,
You could have sunk into the lava with your thumb up or something, right?
That would have been
Yeah.
awesome. But Cyclonin didn't know what was going to happen afterwards. I mean, certainly he had no idea who's going to be appearing inside a tree way back at the starting zone.
Well, you didn't have to know the details of that to know, hey, I'm not dying, I'll come back.
Well, Cyclonin didn't know that either. I mean, I was kicking around a non-Cyclonin character concept, so it could have gone either way.
All right, well, see, then there your problem. Regardless,
Well-
it still happened that way.
Well, you didn't
Well-
tell us what your plan was to begin with, anyway, so we didn't know what your whole big hurry was. Also, the time leading up to it, you didn't talk to anybody. You were running off doing things sneaky deaky like, and it was just like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, like he's not doing that now. I mean, he's gotten so much better at not leaving the party.
Yeah, but he was less angsty about it, and it was less moody and and alcoholism over here.
And hey, the idea here is you guys don't even necessarily know that happened until maybe after the fact.
Well, actually,
but
to tell
anyway,
the truth, I'm pretty sure Judge realized you left again, but he's like, as he continues to write.
that'd be very suspicious. But anyway, after kind of contemplating the memorial and everything, go back and wait for the
It
ingredients.
doesn't take you long. You wait a few minutes and you got a sack with the spores.
Thank you. Ideally, this will give us a garden to work with, and we will work hard to create a larger farm once we find some place to work with.
Then-
I must return to the others. It will probably, certainly it could take weeks or more, but I will do my best to keep you updated on our progress.
Thank you.
One question. Actually, no. Looking around, have I seen... Yeah, never mind. Dude, what it takes to get in here, there's no point in asking that question, so... Alright, then. May I have good news the next time we speak. And
I look forward to
with
it.
that, I'll go ahead and... Yep. So, I'll go ahead and say my goodbyes and change back into the critter and fly out to the abandoned watchtower. Well, the door, walk out. I'll have to rest for an hour to get wild shape again. Then I'll giant eagle back. And then, so let's see. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
so-
So I'm probably gone 5 hours.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and put you back.
Yeah.
I missed. And then meanwhile, back in Spaces, midnight happens, and at this point in time, Cyclone is still gone, but Conglomerate, you finally reappear, and you find yourself in a room. You can see everybody but Cyclone in the room, although most people are sleeping. So what do you do?
Well, obviously they should be awake for my grand return, so I'll stomp in and be like, I'm back!
Ugh.
Hello.
Alright, that's all. Good night.
Ugh. Be quiet.
Oh, Conglomerate, since you are back and feeling so uppity and excited.
No, it's bedtime. Good night.
That's what I thought. And I reach over and I grab him and I pull him over. Like,
Ah.
of course. I reach into my backpack and I was wondering if you would be willing to try these to see how well they work. I made them special for you. And I pull out this group of 10 arrows, and these arrows look like they have normal arrowheads on them, but surrounding the arrowheads is this kind of purple crystalline stuff around them, and it's gotten hard, so it's not sticky anymore, but you can tell it was several layers thick and of a unpleasant purple substance.
Interesting. This is really cool. What are they? I mean,
Well,
arrows. but
they
like,
are
what type.
Well, the substance on them is both poisoning and hindering or absorbing of magic. I figured maybe if you sunk this into a few of the Pantheon, the punks, then perhaps it would be poisoning and hindering their magics as well.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
You have 10 of those arrows that you can put in your inventory.
Cool. What, Jeremy, or what should I write down for these arrows? Should I just put
Well, you
like
don't
anti-magic
actually know how
arrow?
effective they're
Question
gonna be
mark?
yet, so just go ahead and just add them to your inventory however you want, and then once we find out how effective they are, then we can change them.
Cool. I'll put down.
Now, mind you,
purple
these 10 I
arrows.
did make with fresh purple goo.
Yeah.
10.
Goo arrows.
of the purple variety.
And yeah, we do know that they have both poisoning and either magic absorbing or magic canceling effects. So that's just the purple goo stuff. So we'll see how
Sounds
effective
good.
it actually is if it's inserted into somebody rather than just sticking to their surface.
Yeah, I mean, only one way to find out, and I'm happy to
Yeah.
test them.
Excellent, excellent. That's what I
Do
was hoping
they
for.
come with a quiver, or are they just loose?
Do we have a quiver? Do you have a quiver?
I don't, because my crossbow actually is semi-magical, and the bolts just kind of magically appear when I cock it back. But I could easily grab one or just keep them in my backpack.
Go ahead and reach down and because I've got 30 more crossbow bolts that go along with my crossbow. I will take my crossbow bolts out, put them loose in my backpack, and hand him the quiver. It's better to keep these ones protected and away from other things. Yes.
Sure. Alright, I'm gonna add that to my equipment then too.
Yeah, that would make sense, because otherwise you'd have to spend an action or whatever, kind of shuffling around in your backpack just to shoot, just to pull out a bolt to shoot, which isn't going to be great for action economy.
Yeah.
I will pick up another quiver on our way out of town tomorrow. Until then, you must get some rest too. We have a choice to make about sleeping for a solid 8 hours, I believe.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to go
That was
ahead and
kinda getting
advance to in the morning, but before breakfast. So, well, actually, you're going to have to sleep for 8 hours. So I'm actually going to advance to then, so to 8 o'clock.
Actually, that's before the advance. That's why I had said that to the rest of the party. How many of us want to take our full long 8 hours and level up this sleep in a nice protected place?
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
I mean, if we can, we should, right?
Exactly. We have no reason not to.
Is Cyclonin back yet, or is he not?
Yeah, so
No.
That's a him problem.
I was going to advance until the next day, so he'd be back. But yeah, he's going to be an hour or two, or whatever it was, before he gets back. So yeah, I don't think he's going to get his 8 hours.
To be honest, he could just sleep in. Like, if he's
Which I
that tired, he
fully
could just
intend to
sleep
do.
in.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Then
My next-
I'll
my
advance
next
another
question
2
would be-
hours then.
My next question would simply be, do we feel safe enough that all of us could just get our 8 hours here, or do we really want to keep one person awake?
I don't see us getting
we feel?
attacked just yet.
Yeah. Do I make an insight check?
I don't know. You know what? We have some pets and familiars. What if they just kind of stayed on watch
Yeah,
for us?
keep your owl up. He'll be watch.
I can always summon like a little fairy or something too.
All right, and not only that, we can ask Sebastian. So, because remember,
You think
when we're
that
out, we're
boy's
out
gonna
for 8
stay
hours.
up? No, he can hardly live without bread.
All right then.
Well, you do
So,
get
yeah,
the
let's
sense
all
that you've been safe here so far. So you get the sense that no one in the household means you harm.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, we will go ahead and take our 8-hour long rest. Conglomerate, you're going to be a little later, and then Cyclonin, whenever he gets back, he'll be sleeping in the latest.
Yeah, so I'm just going to advance to
Alright.
10, and we'll say everybody has had time to get their 8 hours, and then you have some time to make your discussion before you eat breakfast. Yeah, everybody subtract 4 experience points, and go ahead and raise your level. So the way you do that, let me get to the sheet to remind myself. But yeah, you should be able to go to your features, and under class, you'll see, like it says level 8. Just go through the drop down and turn that to level 9, and that should handle your class. And
Well,
yeah, go
I
from
made
there.
a mistake.
Now, is it like readily apparent when people take, do the level up? Because yeah, if I remember right, we're not responsive at all when.
Yeah, you're basically like you're in a coma.
Mm-hmm. And but is that like something where if I looked at somebody, it would be readily apparent?
Dang it.
Not Not necessarily, because they just look like they're sleeping. They just don't wake up. So I don't think you would really. I mean, I think it would look like somebody who's just really tired and sleeping.
Okay.
It didn't give me my hit points again. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I had to adjust them manually too. I don't know if it's just a thing.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just
just
do
adjust
that.
it manually then if it's gonna be stubborn.
But everything else should have gone up, right? Like my proficiency and whatnot.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, I think it
Let's
did.
check your
Yeah, I
sheet.
think it
Yeah, your
actually did.
proficiency went up. Yeah, that
Yep.
worked.
So sweet. It's just the health then.
Let's
That's
see.
fine. I can do that
Hit
manually.
dice is 9 correct for number of hit dice you should have?
I think
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, 'cause you're level
correct
9,
for
yeah.
Ranger. Yeah.
So that looks right.
I'm just changing my hit points over. There
Alright.
we go.
And so, what time did I arrive back?
I'm gonna say around 2 in the morning.
Hmm.
So after 8 hours, you wake up at 10, and you're level 9.
Quick out of character moment. I just wanted to check really quick with everybody else. I get access to my 3rd level spells now. I only get to learn 1, but am I allowed to like
Yeah, you can
forget some of
trade.
my 1st levels to get extra ones? And
Yes,
If
second
I
you
remember
level?
right,
can.
you're
You
allowed
can.
to change one in addition
Just
to
one?
learning
Yeah.
a new one.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
you
can
can
get
learn a new one, and the one you change doesn't matter for the level you're getting. So if you want to get rid of a level 1 spell and pick up a second level 3 spell, you can do that.
Yeah, I think I will get rid of Disguise Self since well, actually, that's built into my class, so I don't know if I'm allowed to forget things that are built in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's built in, then yeah, you just have it because
Then
it
I
did
get
cost
rid
you a
of
resource to get it.
Yeah, so I'll get rid of Rope Trick because that's been absolutely useless for me. Bonk. And then the next question I had is I would like to get Conjure Animals and probably like Lightning Arrow. Do you guys know of any other spells that might be good for me, or do those sound good?
Just a second.
Because I need to have my ant army. That's like a necessity. Let's be honest. That's gonna happen.
Let's go ahead and
Hey,
double check here.
Druid's
because-
Fireball's pretty cool.
Druid Fireball is pretty sick. I agree.
Just so you know, the house rule that you can only have up to 8 critters that you control is still in effect.
That's totally fine. I don't think Ranger gets high enough for me to be able to upcast it significantly, so it won't really be a problem for me.
Fair enough. And even if it was a problem, it just means you can make your things higher.
Yeah, I'll just make them higher crit rating
Exactly.
or challenge rating.
Is that a 3rd level spell, is it?
Yeah, it should be. Because Ranger's a half caster, so we go up a little bit slower.
Okay. Okay, there are no material components. You don't have to worry about that at all. Excellent.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And then,
Lightning
think you
Arrow
had
was the
s-
one I was a little bit more iffy on, just because like it's kind of all right, but it's a like decent AOE thing too, which is kind of nice for me.
alright, let me check that one out.
But there could be better things too. I just don't know the Ranger spell list as well, because I've actually never played a Ranger before this.
Well, one thing you
I
could
see
do
flame
is, like
arrows,
you're
I'm
doing
not
now,
finding
you
lightning
can swap
arrows.
things out as you level up. So if your lightning thing doesn't work, you can always
Yeah, I'll
swap
just
it out.
change it next level. Absolutely.
I found flame arrows. I'm not seeing lightning arrows.
Lightning Arrow.
There's call lightning.
It's called Lightning Arrow, no S. Should be base game, like not even an add-on.
Yeah, I see it in the spell list.
Yeah, it's just from the player's handbook. It's like a 48 lightning hit, and then it hits everybody around it.
Oh, that's why I'm in druid, not ranger. Duh, that's stupid. It's a ranger only spell.
Yeah, one of those arrow ones.
I want to do arrow one.
Ooh.
Darcy has some new toys.
I get
Lightning.
a level 5 spell, and I get another level 4 spell.
That's crazy.
I know.
Okay, it does have some AoE on it.
Yeah, not like a
Um,
lot, but enough that it could
yeah.
be useful.
Yeah. All right. And let's see here. How many third level spells you have?
I
2 slots.
have okay, so I get to learn 2, and then I do have 2 slots to spend on it for now.
Okay. So yeah, because remember this is a one-hit, one-shot. So yeah, you
Yeah.
cast this. That's one of your 2 third-level spells.
But it's a
gone.
bonus action cast, which is really nice.
Yeah, actually, that is.
Oh well,
Hey, that's his mic
Where-
drop moment. You know,
there goes
what else can you say?
my consultant.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take them both. I think I like the sound of them.
Where's the spell list or whatever where you drag and drop stuff?
It's the
You got to go to the compendium, and then there's the
Compendium.
spells thing.
So actually, if you go to the
No
journal,
one.
which looks like the open book, under general, there's a spell list.
Well, that's right.
It's under sessions and video notes. It's beneath that, and you just click on that, and then you gotta find your class.
and you just drag and drop, right?
Yeah, and then you just drag and drop onto your sheet. You can also click on them to see what they do. Looks like there's 2 5th level bard spells I neglected to put in, so if you want one of those, let me know and I'll add it later.
It's the bard. There it is. The very top. I was just like, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's alphabetical.
Okay. I'm. Eh. This one sounds the most fun.
But yep. I think I'm taking both of those spells since you dropped out of the call.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't mean to drop out. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
it's not your fault.
You know,
yeah,
clearly a
unless-
great deal of malice was involved.
Yeah.
yeah. That lightning one does. That lightning
I
one.
think Bros
does
was asking
do
about something.
quite a bit of.
It's,
Sorry.
if you go to the journal tab, which is near the middle, looks like an open book, and under the general folder, the blue one, you'll see spell list near the bottom of that group.
But there's no list for what I'm looking for.
What are you looking for?
Warlock.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
because
yeah.
I didn't think there was going to be any warlocks, so that's why I never made it. So
Okay.
what you can do is just between sessions, just look up the spells you want from the, and then let me know, and I'll create them for you.
Sit.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt there. For lightning arrow. Just double checking it here. There's now lightning arrow does 4d8 damage with a 2d8 and 10-foot radius. There's one just above that called Conjure Barrage.
Oh
and
yeah.
that literally turns your arrow into a 60-foot cone.
That's
and
pretty
all
sweet.
creatures in it get 3d8. 3d8 is not as much as 4d8, but you're talking
No,
about
but it's a lot better
vast
in
amount
terms of
of
AoE.
area.
Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
will make that switch actually. That's a good call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Glad I could help.
I think it also kind of fits my MO too, where it's just like me skitzing out and shooting a shit ton of arrows at a massive cone.
Yeah, you can just kind of imagine your eyes glazing over, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden your
just like
crossbow just starts. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like, where are all these
exactly.
arrows coming from?
Alright.
Suppressing fire. If you've ever seen Archer.
Yes.
Suppressing fire.
Actually, I don't, Jeremy, I don't see Conjure Barrage in the Ranger spell list.
Barrage.
It should
Yeah,
be.
it's right here in the Ranger spell list. Third level
am
conjuration.
Am I missing it?
I just went to D&D
Oh,
Beyond.
you're in
went to
D&D
Ranger spell
Beyond.
list.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What source is this from?
It's from the player handbook.
Oh, I guess I missed it.
Yeah, it says Player's Handbook.
Oh, that source book is not allowed.
Yeah, we don't accept that one here.
Actually, there might be. Oh no, it's probably not. Okay, so gosh, had to add Conjure Barrage. Okay, fair enough. Conjure Barrage.
Sorry to make more work for you, Jeremy.
Spells. Okay.
Yeah, and to
Yep.
third
I
level
also
spells,
don't
you can
want to
find it
slow
in,
down stuff too much. So if you want to add it like next time, it'll be
Yeah, I'll
fine.
add it between sessions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, actually, I was
Cool.
kind of hoping for this. I wanted us to talk about our level ups so that we could try and coordinate better and be a little bit more cohesive as a team.
Sure.
All right. Well, I have a level 3 and a not a level 3. I have a level 4 and a level 5 I can choose. I'm thinking animate objects for level 5 because you can be so creative with that.
That's super fun
Oh,
for
yes.
you too. That's awesome.
That's
Four,
awesome.
I don't know, because the ones out of 4 are kind of bleh. I kind of got the better ones. The only other one that might work is greater invisibility, but I have like a normal invisibility.
Just out of curiosity, can't you pick a second level 5? Even though you only have one level 5 spell slot, you'd have the option of which one to cast. If you see something,
I don't know,
if you don't
maybe.
see anything else, yeah. If you don't see anything else all that great in level 4s, then
I'd have to see what the wording is on the.
Yeah. I'd have to get DM's the thoughts on that first. But
Okay.
still going off of as we know, I don't see any other level 4s that are interesting or useful besides maybe greater invisibility. But normal invisibility is
It's
good
pretty
enough for now.
I'm still pulling it up. Hold on a second.
Do you have
Let's
the
see here.
never mind.
Right, you've already
Yeah.
got polymorph.
I got polymorph and dimension door.
That's the good ones.
Yep,
Yeah,
I already got the good ones already.
Yep, those are the good ones. Well, you sort of got a charm monster, but that's iffy at best.
I don't like doing charms because
Yeah.
you use it and it either works or it doesn't, and then you just used a spell and you wasted your time.
Yeah, same thing with confusion too.
And yes, if bards get one spell and then they can swap one spell, I believe that's how that works with them.
Like I already got all the good stuff out of the level 4
All right.
slot, so it's not worth it because I don't need a double invisibility.
So yeah, it says you get one additional 1st through 5th level spell from the Bard spell slot. So you pick any from any of those things.
So yeah, if you see a second 5th level spell, you can only ever cast one a day until you get more slots, but you'll have a choice of what you want to cast.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd rather do that because
And
that thing is
just
just
for your,
not
yeah,
working.
and just for your information, animate object was something Judge was looking forward to as well. That's why he went and got special animate object daggers or throwing darts to use.
Oh, that's what that was about.
Well, I've been wanting animate object because it's just fun to me. It sounds like a really fun, creative thing that you can do really cool stuff with.
Oh yeah, you can pick up any rock, any chunk of wall. That chair's gonna kick you in the shins. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do.
Oh, I know. As for level 5, the second one I'm kind of thinking about is maybe mass cure wounds or Geas. Or scrying.
Now, that's one that's been talked about before, Geas. That is an awesome and amazingly powerful spell, but are we going to use it here? Just to throw it out there.
Right, it's kind of
Don't
like
get me
I can
wrong,
see
it's
it
an awesome
forcing it on maybe a human or if it works on one of the bugs, possibly.
Well, let me point this out. If you think it's going to be a niche thing, I have access to it as a druid, so we can spec for that if the situation arises. So if you don't want to burn a
Yeah.
spell on it, that's not a problem.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
because I can see it having situational uses, but I don't know about having it as a permanent spell.
There's a
You know.
lot of really good 5th level spells for you.
Yeah,
Seems
but
like,
a lot of them are
you
like.
guys picking some healing or something might not be too bad an idea. Like
Yeah,
Mass Cure.
Greater
Yeah.
Restoration is decent. Mass Cure Wounds is pretty good. Scrying's amazing. Teleportation Circle might actually not be that bad either.
I was thinking about that too, just in case we need to.
Actually,
The only problem is
we-
it takes a long time to cast, and
it
it's very much you got to know where you're going, or you have to
need
have
to-
another teleportation circle ready on the
Yeah,
other end.
we need
very
to
true.
we need to verify that with the DM here because
Oh,
I
true.
was under the impression that there aren't any teleportation circles. So
That's right.
teleportation circle would actually be kind of a useless endeavor in this
Yeah.
particular setting.
Mm.
Yeah,
I feel like we
there's,
can
That's
make
something I'm gonna
one.
check
There are
first.
no
Or
circles. You could theoretically, I guess, make one, but
It takes
good
a
luck
year.
making it permanent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so there's no permanent circles. So if you want to make a network, it's going to be 1 year per circle, and you're on your own.
Yeah, see that's where it becomes less pleasant.
Exactly. Oh well.
Wait a second,
So
I
now
thought
we're
you had
going back
access
to Mass Cure Wounds, Scrying, or maybe
Now, scrying, there's two things with that. One is it requires a very expensive spell component. That's also something I get as a druid. So if it's a rare thing, then we can always deal with me doing that. Plus, we do have to get the items. That might not be worth dumping anything into unless you think we'll do a lot of scrying.
So we're back to Cure Wounds.
Or Greater Restoration.
Or Greater Restoration. Yeah, in case someone gets turned into a statue again.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
with
there is
the amount
one
of
that I
stupid
think.
stuff I do, it's quite possible I'll need Greater Restoration.
Well, I was going to say there is also a very real possibility of modify memory. I don't know how much you think that would be.
You know, we turned into the Man in Black. You didn't see anything.
Yeah, but it only works. Oh, hold on, let me check if it only works on one person at a time.
Oh
Yeah,
no, we
another creature, so it
traumatized.
works on one creature.
We traumatized Sebastian too much. We have to wipe his memory.
Yeah, Mass Cure Wounds
last
is really
24 hours,
good.
last no more than 10 minutes.
Mass Cure Wounds would be helpful in a major boss fight, which we had one that was a little sticky, but we did all right. So I'm thinking maybe Mass Cure Wounds, because a lot of us that use our spells are going to use it primarily to attack with.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Could think of, aside from Mass Cure Wounds, that seems really good for Darcy would be Synaptic Static.
Synaptic Static.
That is really good.
That's a big.
Hold on, let me look. Synaptic Static.
All
right. Where are you?
Well, that's one of the two that I missed.
Yeah, I don't. It's
in
not
D&D
on
Beyond.
the standard list.
It's
It
Xanathar's
should
Guide,
be.
that's why.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
True.
Let me look.
It's
Let me
like,
look for it.
It turns everybody into me.
Let me read the thing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. As Darcy's reading that, yeah, I was thinking of taking
Ooh, yeah, that is pretty good.
but yeah, there's that or mass cure. So
All right.
you can pick
Do
there.
y'all
Just
want me to
giving
do
you-
a major heal, or do you want me to just explode people's braids?
And turn them stupid. I kind of really like both
Yeah.
of them, so I'm not gonna make that.
I
pick for you.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I like both of them as well. I really like that. Everybody's hurting, but we're still in the fight, so you just boom everybody. But then again, I know Darcy's gonna like that big boom. So
Yeah,
that's her personality there.
a lot of her major attacks are AoEs. That's just what she do.
Mhm.
Now, just in case this has an effect as well, I will point out that as a druid, I do have access to mass cure wounds. So
Oh,
we don't have to totally do without if you decide you'd rather have the other spell. On the flip side,
yeah,
there is
that's
something to be
right.
said for healing
Yeah,
redundancy.
Darcy.
yeah, having both of like two people with that active would add a lot of like sustainability to us, as
Especially
well.
whenever we actually have to start fighting other pantheons.
Sorry.
But at the same time, making people a D6 stupider is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, wouldn't it make
and
certain spells unattainable for like a
Absolutely.
wizard?
actually,
Absolutely.
I think it. I think while your memory's muddled, you can't actually cast spells. Attack roll ability checks as well as Constitution to maintain concentration. Okay, yeah, no. All right, yeah. But no, I mean, Darcy, you thought you were about the only healer of the party, and you didn't necessarily like being treated as such. With a druid in the party,
I didn't
now
like having to
both
choose
share.
either attacking or trying to keep you guys up. That was the
Yeah,
major thing.
but now that we have a druid in the party, the two of you can share that load, so you have a little more freedom of action. So I was
Right, but
trying
I'm not going to
to-
assume things. That's why I rather us talk it through.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah.
he'd rather have something else, we need a game plan here.
For sure.
Now, I was thinking for Judge, I really liked Animate Object, which is why I went to go get those things. But if you're going to take Animate Object, maybe I could take, because I want to take Steel Wind Strike. It
Go for
just
it.
fits the Blade Singer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if you're thinking that your Animate Object is going to be good, then I might take Wall of Force. And
I already have animate
then-
object put on my sheet, so it's happening.
Yeah, well, obviously, that's what you want. That's what you get. You take it. I was just wondering if, because I could also take Animate Object, or I could go with maybe a Wall of Force. I can go with a Wall of Force. You'll have Animate Object.
Yeah.
I can always try and pick it up later at the library if we get back there, if it's something I desperately want.
Wall of Force. What does that do? Oh, that's kind of
It's-
nice.
I was going to say, yeah, it's something. It's a team event.
Yeah.
Gizzard, if you could ever get
absolutely.
Wall of Force, that would be an awesome team building exercise.
Super sick.
Yeah, because like
Sounds
you could
good.
Wall of Force somebody into a cage, and then I can Sickening Radius and shake and bake them. But it takes two people concentrating on two different spells, so it's a team up attack.
Yeah. I got you. As of right now, I do not have access to these high level spells until next level, basically.
All right, no problem.
Uh,
Just
But I will be able to actually do some decent damage, which is cool.
'Cause
awesome.
to do Sorelock things, you really only need like 3 levels in Warlock, if that, right?
Exactly. I have two levels.
Yeah. That's pretty solid.
Two is basically all I need.
Yeah, 2, because then you get access to the changed Eldritch Blast, right? Where you can do
Exactly.
different things
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can take 2 Eldritch Evocations that boost it up, right?
Yeah, super sick.
Yeah. Agonizing Blast is awesome, especially once you got your Charisma maxed.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That is very badass.
Yeah, I got Agonizing Blast, and I think I got the one that gives you Dark Vision. So I stop having to rely on other people's for.
Thank
Like-
God. Can we be done with the lamps? I do my best work in darkness.
Yeah, I thought that was
Actually,
good.
you still have you still have Darcy and Judge who are blind.
Yeah, you stupid heads. Get better
Eh.
eyes.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
actually intend to. I will eventually.
That's funny. I was just joking around.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Myself and Darcy still rely on lamps, and I think Tavros does as well. He doesn't have dark vision.
I don't think so.
Nah, cows don't get dark vision.
No,
So yeah, you still have
Yeah,
half the
because-
party. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you do
Nothing
your
has
best work in the dark.
changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so sounds
But
like
okay.
you guys had a lot of good discussion as far as leveling goes. I think we're actually going to call the session here. So what you guys can do is just make sure if there's anything I need to add, to send it my way, and I'll do it between sessions. So any spells or anything else that's missing, just let me know.
Okay.
Sounds
but-
good.
Otherwise, yeah. So
Even though-
oh, go ahead.
Even though we're calling the session here, does everybody else want to stay on for a few minutes so we can finish and get everything settled, or do you think we're all pretty good?
I'm down to stay on for a couple more minutes just to flesh everything out.
Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.